DIY.
DIYs. The day is finally here. I got my guy Daylyt here. First and foremost, sir, how you doing?
What's popping? What's popping, good people?
Instant travel perks on the booking.com.
You all good. I just want to make sure I shout out all the DIYers in the building today, all the moderators. Thank you so much for holding it down. Y'all bring these streams peace of mind. Make sure you get rid of all the nonsense and all of that if it does find its way here. We starting a little bit early because I want to make sure I respect his brother's time. But man, I got an intro for you, man. You know, we living in a different type of matrix these days, and you know, they want to say something about you. I let them say something about you. You want to hear what they said about Daylyt and how they make sense of what you have done thus far?
Yeah.
Says, today I'm joined by one of the most unpredictable, profound, and polarizing figures in hip-hop. Daylyt, from viral battles and wild antics to some of the most complex lyricism in the game. Daylyt has always been 5 moves ahead of the culture. Oof. We actually go way back, before the views, before the fame, back to Carson, California, when I was working a night shift at Quiznos. Actually, this is a different one here. Working a night shift at Quiznos, and he'd come through. We were actually working the same night shift. But even back then, it was clear this wasn't just a battle rapper. This is one of the greatest rappers, or writers, excuse me, of our generation, period. We're going to talk to Daylyt about Daylyt's evolution from battle rap to full songwriting, the deeper truths inside his trolling, the eerie accuracy of some of his early takes, especially what he said about the dealer, and his upcoming battle with Rum Nitty, which he's calling a mission to restore balance. Man, so much to get to because this is the first time. As long as I've known you, bro, I've been telling stories, and they like, you don't know this nigga. I said, shut up.
Crazy. It's crazy, bro. Like, bro. All right, so I'm gonna break it down, right? I'm gonna go all the way further back so that people could get like a real good history on how this happened. So I was a rapper. I was doing music long before battle rap, like just regular music. And you know, as an up and coming artist, the trials and tribulations of surviving as an up and coming artist is hard, because when you're an artist, they trick you into saying like you can't have a job, but then like you broke, so you can't really support your artistry. So it's like a whammy. It's like a double whammy either way it go. So in the process of me pushing my music, I'm like, man, I got to get a job, but I can't get a job around my neighborhood and Watts, because if people see me working, it ain't gonna work with my rap shit. So I went to Carson, and I filled out a few applications in Carson because I figured nobody would see me in Carson.
Right.
So just so happens Quiznos called me back. So I got the job at Quiznos, and I get there and come to find out you are the manager, the assistant manager. This is how I met Curtis King, my assistant fucking manager, as my job at Quiznos.
Right.
So, you know, I just remember us working, flipping subs and shit, you know, and I remember one day it was just me and you, and was talking like, and I don't know if music was playing I don't know how we got to the music conversation, but it was just like, yeah, I do music. And it's like, yeah, I do music too. It was like, yeah, we gonna be somebody one day. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be somebody one day. We like flipping subs, bro. This is like an epic story. We flipping hella chicken mesquites, bro.
Chicken mesquite, yeah, as you coined it back then.
And bro, like we flipping subs and shit together, and we just really had this like this fucking like real like heartfelt conversation about like we gonna be somebody. Like this is not the end of our life. Like it can't be. Like and sure enough, you know what I mean? Like maybe a few years after that, I seen King on tour with, man, he was moving. You was moving like right after that. Like what you with, like Pitbull or something? You was moving.
I went shout out to Jay Smooth. He was doing the reggaeton. We was trying to figure out like where there was some motion and where we could kind of have our voice be involved. But the first opportunity I had to do shows, I took advantage of people thinking that I was Puerto Rican, even though I wasn't. I did the Nicaraguan fest.
So I wasn't the only one trolling. Hey, yo.
Hey, like they came up to me at the end of the performance. They said, I said, see. And just started finding shit. I did the Nicaraguan fest in the city industry.
Oh shit.
and I shaved my head because at the time Jay Smooth was kind of like, he was an older artist who was more of a veteran. He did remember that MTV show Your Mama?
Yeah.
That was like his claim to fame, is that he was doing shows and all that. But at that time, I did a Nicaraguan face. He's like, you should shave your head because then they won't know. We did a reggaeton song. I pray y'all gonna find it. I don't care. But had Bluetooth in the video. It was all kind of crazy timing because like I said, we were trying to figure out how to get some traction. But man, let me return the favor on this because we worked at Quiznos. I think we might have even just sessioned up one time. You came to my grandma's patio.
I pulled up one time, yeah.
And this is when I knew that you weren't just an artist, but you were also a producer too.
Yeah.
He was using FL Slayer back then.
Like, bro, listen, and it's crazy that people just now finding out that I make beats like this year. Right. And I had Fruity Loops like before anyone. Like I had Fruity Loops. Like it wasn't even FL. It was just Fruity Loops. Like not one, not two, just Fruity Loops by itself. Like,
somehow before they got sued by Kellogg's and had to change that all up, huh?
Yeah, this shit was wild, bro. But no, that was a wild time in both of our lives and careers. And I never got to say this, but I'll say this, proudly. When I seen that, like, because we on MySpace and shit, and when I seen you like moving, and again, perception is everything, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, my manager is up right now. This nigga doing world tours and shit. Them niggas Bada, Madi, I'm like, yo, this nigga is lit, right? So I'm telling you this because I never said this publicly, but like that was motivation for me. Like, nigga, if that nigga could do it, I could do it. Like I could make it. Like it's not over. Like, yeah, so that was motivation for me, bro. Like super.
Mind you, this is the first time I've known this brother for years. This is the first time I'm hearing where he was at in his life when we crossed paths. Mind you, all y'all keep asking, did he have a face tat then? No, he didn't.
No, I didn't have a face tat then.
He had a face tat, but still, like, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. I always say, you the first person to ever troll me. I didn't even know it was trolling. I just thought you was like, you just fucking with me. You told me one time, you remember this day? You came into work limping one day. And I said, I said, you good? He said, I'm good, King. I kicked the ball off a 10-foot rim. And I'm like, huh, no, for real? You just kept going and signed in and kept moving.
All right,
hold on. You told me one time we mopping the floors because we were talking hip hop. Out of nowhere, you said, hey, Kurt, you ever messed with an MPC before? I said, nah. You said, first time I did was at DJ Quick Studio. It was all red, everything. And it just got quiet because I didn't know what to. I say all that to say, you were so ahead of your time even then, because that became. Okay, maybe this is a question I should ask. Was that always something in your mind to tell them stories only because it was like partly trolling or because it was partly prophesizing? Because so many things that you said you wanted to do, you did, bro.
They were real. So look, the foot story, how I hit the rim, that's how I met Reasons. TDE
Wait,
Reasons.
Listen,
I'm giving y'all the exclusives, bro.
Wow.
So when I used to leave from Quiznos, it was mad traffic. Like some of the times I got off was mad traffic. So in order for me to escape traffic, I would go to the gym to kill time. Mm-hmm. And this is when I first met Reasons. I didn't know Reasons rap. I was playing basketball with him and his twin brother. And back then, like I was still in like basketball shape. Like I'm probably like 150, 130 back then.
Yeah.
And this back when I still had like a 45, 50-inch vertical leap.
That's crazy.
So I mean, everybody, like the whole LA know me for like being one of the highest jumpers before rap and all that shit or whatever.
Yeah. I've heard it first. Yeah.
So I'm in the gym, I'm playing ball, and I go up the dunk, and somebody low bridge me. I flipped completely upside down, and my foot literally hit the rim, bro.
Oh, Lord.
This is an actual story. So I walked into work like, nigga, I'm probably almost dead, nigga, but I need to get this chicken. So nigga, I'ma just keep on mopping the floor.
All you had was a limp, and you worked that whole shift too.
And I worked the whole shift, nigga, quiet, nigga, hurt. I was hurt. I had to get that money, but I ended up writing a song about that shit too. But and the DJ Quick Studio is real shit too. Like all that stuff is real. See, this is the thing though, bro. One thing I learned about my life is that everything seems unreal, but it's only because it's too early. So it's like it's like a cell phone. Like if I would have told you I had an iPhone back in fucking, which I did have something similar to an iPhone back in like 2002, 2001. I probably was a little later than that, or probably before that. Probably it's like 2001, 2000. I'm not sure exactly what year it was. But if I told you I had an iPhone 16 back then, you'd be like, nigga, shut the fuck up. There's no phone you could see people on. There's no iWatch, nigga. That's 007 shit. Fuck no.
Right.
So it's just mainly like a lot of the things that I said, it's just too early.
Well, I'll tell you this. One thing that was never a debate was your pen.
Yeah.
Back then as well. And you gave me an invitation somewhere, and I regret it to this day that I did not take you up on it, because Quiznos had me so stressed out, tired. I want to just go home, finally work on music and go to sleep. But you invited me to a spot called the Pit.
Yeah.
You were Quiznos by day, and I would come to understand superhero by night at this spot called the Pit in Long Beach. Can you talk a little bit about that time period?
It was actually in Culver City.
It was Culver City.
Culver City. And the Pit was actually run by Watt City Sticks, if y'all familiar with Sticks.
Shout out to him.
Run by Sticks. So give a little back history on that. Like, I was never a battle rapper. Like a lot of people get this whole shit misconstrued. Like battling, there was a time where like battling and hip hop wasn't separated. It was like you go to the studio, y'all rap a bunch of raps, and who got the best 16. You know what I mean? Like that was battling, and that's basically what it was back in the days. Like, but I was never like no direct battle rapper. The Pit was basically like a hip hop, like an event, like, just an event where all the LA hip hop scene go. Like everybody was there. Kendrick, TD was there, Tyga, 1500, Itchy Bondon, Willie B, anybody you could name that is now a household name in LA, we were all there. This is like our La Brea tar pits where everybody rolls from. So just so happens how we even went there was shouts out to Canary Diamonds. A lot of people in the new era might not know who Canary Diamonds was, but she was basically a pretty big female, basically like the Nicki Minaj early. So Canary was also from Watts, and she was like, yo, it's this hip-hop event, man, y'all should pull up. And we pulled up to the hip-hop event. It just so happened, as soon as we pulled up, I seen Sticks. Now, I never knew Sticks from music. I knew Sticks we grew up playing basketball together as childhood friends. And on the day of, like, he like, yo, man, sign your name right here. And I'm like, oh, what's this? The get in free list? He like, yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's up. It's up. My boy about to get me in free. I ain't gotta pay. It's up.
Right.
Bro, I get in there, bro. Out of nowhere, he like, yeah, Daylyt to the stage. I'm like, oh shit, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm about to get a shout out, nigga. It's going up, nigga. This is lit.
Are you still not processing that you about to battle somebody?
I didn't even know what was about to happen, bro.
Oh man.
I get to the fucking stage, bro. He whispered hey, I need you to battle this guy right now. He had an opponent, but the opponent didn't show up. So I go, battle who? I looked to the left. Guess who it was?
Who was it?
Disaster.
No, your first battle?
He over there fucking. I'm like, oh shit. Yo.
How the hell is I never heard this. Your first damn battle was Disaster, nigga?
I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like,
right.
Yo, and at the time, like, it was a lot going on. We had like a little dope ass battle or whatnot. But yeah, like, and then from then I came back. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That was the day I got addicted though. Because again, like, I'm gonna tell you, like, when you making music and you doing a lot, like, as an up and coming, nobody supports you. Yeah. No one. Your family don't give a fuck. Your mom keep telling you to cut the shit down. Your uncles, man, hang that shit up, get a job. Like, nobody supports you. Your friends and family, they don't support you. So when I had my first battle and I said something and the crowd went crazy, I was like,
hooked.
They love me. What is this feeling? I never felt this before. Like, they was going crazy. Like, the stage went crazy. They was shouting. And I was like, whatever that feeling is, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And I came back a few more weeks. I battled again, and there you have it. I was in the mix of battling. But again, back then, battling wasn't separate from music because we were still rapping on beats.
Yeah.
It was a few acapellas, but sometimes we still rap on beats. So it wasn't all the way separate from making music. And then back then, when you were done battling, we back to the studio to make music or try to make music.
Yeah.
But I think
you shook hands with a rapper at that time. You could not shake hands with a rapper and say you rap unless you were prepared to like, well, let's spar.
Rap, like right then and there, or when we get to the studio, like you better have some bars.
Right.
So, you know, that was the time. But I think just to fast forward a little bit, like where I kind of stopped doing music completely and battle rap kind of took over more. Was during the time music took a weird turn. And again, I don't want nobody to feel disrespected because I am a complete fan of the guy that I'm about to say. Soulja Boy. When Soulja Boy popped and I heard that on the radio, my brain said, and then fast forward, fast forward backwards a little bit forward. I had a meeting with like a label. I don't remember what label, but they were like right by Capitol Records, like right up the block from Capitol Records. And I had a meeting with a label. And, you know, this is back when if you got a call, you know, you take all your music and you pull up. So I pulled up, I had everything ready to go. And one of the A&Rs or somebody, he looked at me dead in my eyes and he was like, man, that song is so fire. This song is fire. These are like platinum records. But do you got something like Crank That?
Excuse me? Do I have what?
What'd you say now?
Yeah. You're talking to me, right? I'm not the only one in the room. Wow.
And he told me this is the new wave. Like this is finna go. And I need something like this or like this because this is what they're about to look for.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not compromising. Like I'm like, I mean, of course I can do it, I can make it, but like in my mind, I want to be a Jay-Z, like I want to be a Nas, like I want to be a DMX, I want to be a Pac, I want to be a Snoop, a Dre, like I want to be a legend, like, and but it's crazy that Soulja Boy still became a legend though, like his own type of legend. Right?
Yeah, but even he had to evolve in his atmosphere.
I thought he was gonna be a one-hitter quitter. He's actually not. He's a one-hitter, multiple hitters
in different industries.
Yeah, like he kept making them. Like most people like him only get one and then they're out of here.
Yeah, especially that big. You get it that big, it's like, okay, yeah, you're not following us up with nothing.
He
then he
followed
said,
up
turn my swag on.
Multiple times. Like I am a super Soulja Boy fan, ultra Soulja Boy fan.
Right.
But again, like so during that time, you know, I left out the studio. I mean, I left out the meeting. I was kind of sad. I'm walking down a fucking Hollywood Boulevard. I'm kind of sad, man. And I ain't gonna lie, I threw my disc in the trash. I was like, it's over. I'm going back to battle rap. And I went back to the event that weekend and I did pretty good, man. I ended up becoming the champ. I won the crown. And the love there was just amazing. It was amazing love. You know, I was getting the same amount of love that I would want from the rap world. So it was amazing. Then fast forward, you know, battle rap started to hit the internet a little more. You know, let's say the YouTube days started to jump. Then from then, you know, certain people started to call, yo, you want to battle here? I started flying around the world. Then after flying around the world, the money started coming. And then before you know it, battle rap was its own industry. So I'm like, oh, I don't need to do music at all.
Yeah, let me put a pin in there real quick before you jump the gun on it, because I do have some questions about some of those early years.
Yeah.
First one is, I don't, just because it's the homie, don't mean that I won't tell a homie, like, you nice, but you ain't one of the best. This nigga really is one of the fucking best that I have ever heard. One of the best pens, writers, period. So when I say that, my question is this: where are you from? For the people who don't know, where are you from?
I'm originally from Watts, California.
What was it about your upbringing that gave you such a poetic, multi-layered, detailed, descriptive, visual pen. What do you think it was about your upbringing? Was were you the kid that read a lot more than most kids were reading? Were you reading everything? Like what was it about your environment that produces one of the best writers of this era?
It was my introduction to rap and how I first heard rap and what I first heard when I really heard rap, like when I seen rap from my own eyes. Now, I told this story multiple times, but I tell it on your platform and the people may not know. But I think I was about 7 years old, 6 or 7, maybe 5. I'm not sure, maybe because my brother was 14, I think, or 13, 14, 15. I can't remember how old my brother was. But I walk in the room and it was like a little laundry area. I walk in the laundry area and I see 2 dudes rapping. It's my older brother and it's another guy. And they just saying mad big words. This was big word era. Flash, masteral, mass, faster, massive, casseroles, master, astronomical, flamicals. Yeah, it was that word, right? Yeah, they just saying all, man, astronomical, comical, flash, flammable, simultaneous,
off the cranium. Yeah.
Cranium area. You know the cranium era is real, bro. So they going hard, bro. And I'm a little kid. I'm just like,
yeah,
yo, what the, you know what I mean? Like, what is all these big words? Guess who this other person was?
Who?
Crooked Eye.
Hold on.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as God, bro, that kept putting you in front of, like, there's a reason why you keep getting surrounded by the best at the most crucial of stages.
Bro, I'm like 6, 7 years old, maybe younger. I can't remember the exact date. They're rapping. They're going back and forth, bro. They was going for hours because it's off the top. So they going for hours, bro. I'm just sitting there like my brain is like,
what is going on?
I'm gonna tell you how it looked. Remember when Morpheus was fighting Neo the first time and everybody was around the corner like, look, Morpheus is fighting Neo, look. That's what was happening to me. I was like, yo, what the? So they just going, bro. They going back and forth, and I'm young. That was my interest, and I didn't know it was Crooked Eye till later on in life.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you, like, we fast forward, again, it was an event where Disaster battled Cassidy, and Crooked Eye was there. So I see Crooked Eye. Crooked Eye ignores me and runs up to my brother. Come here. And he gives my brother not like a rapper hug, like a hug.
My brother, yeah,
like my dog, like Double Dragon type of hug, right? And I'm like, wait, how the fuck y'all know each other? Like, how? How do you even know my brother? And Crooked Eye was like, you don't even remember. And he told me, remember that one time? And I was like, that was you?
What of all the people it could have been, because we know there's stories of spitters that's like never had a name, and they just was the local legends, right?
My brother is one. His name is Nut. Yeah. He's actually better than me right now.
Wow,
he's still better than me right now. In today's time, he's better than me. My brother sounds like me mixed with Tupac.
We gotta hear that, but continue.
Yeah, but make a long story short, yeah, so that was my introduction to rap. It was watching Crooked Eye and my older brother freestyle in the room with mad big words. That's how I got into rap.
Well, follow-up question. There's one level of being exposed to it, but there's another level of you got to do the actual work and you got to do the studying. What did that even look like? Like, what did that look like for you to study? Were you just like kind of sight reading or what?
I think everything starts with your starting point and your reference point. So my reference points was words, right? And from then, like, I would hit the library and I would jump in the dictionary and I would just look for the biggest words. I didn't give a fuck what they meant. I just need a word that's big. That was the cranial area. That was the cranium off the cranium area. Yeah, so off the dome area. I just needed mad words that was big. And shouts out to Ghostface Killer for recently saying that he did the same thing on what was the name of the record?
It was an interview too. He did it. He was like,
but he said he just used mad big words, and that shit one of his biggest records.
I ain't gonna hold you. It kind of pissed me off when he said in the interview, even though we kind of knew, because all the folks who was like, see, this is the problem.
That was one of my favorite records coming up, boy. I was like, nigga, mathematical, flat, platical, haddle, because with haddle, was mathematical.
Hear me out. This is when you get people defending it. He himself was like, I don't even know what I was saying back then. I don't even know what that means. And you have folks defending like, this is how you should write. This is what it is. Like what he's saying here. And meanwhile, he like, I don't even know what I was saying.
Killed us. Killed all of us, bro. Killed us.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So it was then, like, you know, I started to read, you know, I started to really dive into books, man. And then I ain't gonna lie, the library became my best friend. Also, not only the library becoming my best friend, the library was probably the safest place in Watts. It was the only place of peace and quiet. So, you know, I would hit the library a lot, man, and just dive down the books. Like that was early.
Right.
And then moving forward, once like the battle rap shit took off, I think where my mind really started to expand was travel. When I started hitting these other countries and other states, and then just like reading stuff in other states and understanding different parts of history, and one thing led to another. And before you know it, I was like, oh, I could see the matrix codes now.
Bro, let me tell you a moment that I recognized that your journey was very, very different. So you stopped working at Quiznos. I stopped working at Quiznos. We lose touch for a certain amount of years. I get on World Star and they say battle rapper strips down in the middle of a bar. And I think that might have been, was that
the first one? That was the first one.
With the shotty, right?
Yeah, that was the first one. Butt naked with the shotgun. That was the first one.
And bro, it took me a minute because I never saw the face tag. Well, I think I might have saw it through MySpace. We had still followed each other through MySpace, show you the time period. And I saw that and I was like, nigga, is that Devon? Is that? Wait a minute. And I looked and I said, and the video had like damn near 2 million views.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's where he went. And and the thing is, I was following you when you were doing like, well, after that moment, I started following what you were doing with the battles that they did at Lemert.
Yeah.
Was that Grind Time?
Project Blow, Grind Time. Yeah.
Bro, after that, it sounds crazy to say after ButtNaked with a shot, you had me hooked. That sounds wild, so I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say is after that moment, I said, nah, something's different about this, because I watch battle rap and I watch how serious it is. I watch how people will cut through for lyricists, but they won't cut through for the average consumer. Something you did that day, bro. I said, nah, he figured something out because you kept doing it.
I'm gonna tell you, right? This interview is gonna be so pivotal. Because I'm letting out a lot of the gems. All right, I'm gonna tell you, right? So I was at the homie house and I was like, okay, the battle rap shit working, but we got to try something else. And then another homie came over and he was like, hey man, you read a lot of books, man. Here go a book. He tossed me a book. I didn't know what it was. It was the 50 Laws of Power, 50 Cent's version of the 48 Laws of Power.
Robert Greene, yeah.
That book changed my life.
And what way?
It was one part where the nigga said, all publicity is good publicity, all of it. I said, wait, what you say now?
One more
What
time.
you say now, 50? He said, nigga, do shit by it don't even matter. Just get them to look. I said, all right. Now, remember when I was saying I'm always early? For the world that the people that don't know, I'm like one of the earliest videos on WorldStar ever, before WorldStar was a thing. Like it was all battle rap shit and shit like that on WorldStar. Me and Locksmith is actually one of the earliest videos on WorldStar. So we was on WorldStar before WorldStar became a thing. So I'm always early. But all right, so boom, remind you, this is where it all happened. I had a battle in London. This is my first time out the country like this. My very first time. I was dealing with the time zone. I didn't know like the time zone had me fucked up, bro. Like my body was just discombobulated.
Right.
So I got this battle coming up Now, remind you, like, I was so excited about going to London, man. I didn't even write for the battle. I didn't even prepare for it. I didn't do nothing. I'm like, man, I'm just going to London. I don't give a fuck what happened. So when I got out there, I'm like, nah, I gotta write something. But in the process of trying to write something, like the time frame had me so discombobulated. I'm like, man, I'm gonna just get sleep. So I sleep. I get to the event. I don't have no material, none, zero, nothing. I have absolutely nothing, bro.
For those who don't understand, especially in your world, I know a ton of battle rappers. Preparation is key. How key is that beforehand?
Preparation is career ending. You don't prep, it's over.
Right.
So again, I have nothing. I'm talking zero. Like I don't have an introduction. I don't have a hey, I don't even have to my left, state your name. I don't even have my name ready. I'm cooked. I don't have nothing, right? Bro, all I had was my phone charger and a napkin. I said, you know what? This is what I'm wearing.
Wait, what? So you didn't have a preparation, but you had a napkin.
Bro, I pulled out this pocket and my phone charger was in my hand. I went in this pocket and I was like a napkin. I was like, my brain said, what would 50 Cent do in this case?
So what you do? What did you ultimately do? Because they in there wilding out. What the hell did you do?
All right, bro. So I made underwear out of the charger and the napkin. And I wrote on the front of it, the joke's on you. All right. So, but this was plan B, right? This was plan B. This wasn't plan A. I was still nervous. I'm like, man, I can't do this. I'm gonna ruin my hood career. Like my hood card is cooked after this.
Right.
Right. So I get to the stage and I'm battling this guy named Daylyt. I'm gonna most definitely give him his credit. Now, remind you, this dude is from London and he's African. So he has a London accent on top of the African accent. Woo! He goes first. When I tell you this nigga was barbecuing me, I didn't know what the fuck he was saying. This nigga is destroying me, bro. The crowd is going nuts, right? My brain said, you have a nuke in your back pocket. Nuke this entire event. And it's going to come at a sacrifice of partially part of your career, but it's the only way to win this battle. Is to nuke everyone.
What was that nuke like?
You know what? It's time to get butt naked with my shotgun. Boy, I pulled them pants down and pulled my shirt off. Boy, I was standing on stage with the paper towel and the charger at just standing on stage. Like, bro, the whole event cleared out.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
The rest of the battles was canceled. No, fuck this. We're out. Fuck no, we can't do this shit. This is not hip hop.
Rebut that. Slow it down. Rebut
that literally, because my butt was like showing the opposite way of the camera. So I'm like, yo, rebuttal this. But no, like, bro, the event cleared out, bro. There's no more battles. Everybody's in the street pissed. Fucking camera crew comes up to me. They like, yo, we're World Star. I'm like, oh shit, it's up. Yo, the next morning, this shit goes to World Star. Yo, it is literally lit, bro. Like, I'm talking like lit. My followers jumping, my everything. And I'm like, oh, so this is why Soulja Boy did what he did.
Bro, can I say something about that? Because I saw very early, like I saw the backlash for the antics, quote unquote antics. I never called them antics. I always saw it as very strategic. Even before we had a conversation about the 50 laws of power and how it influenced it, I looked and I said, I know exactly what this nigga's doing. I just said, he just had the balls, no pun intended, to do it. When I saw you up there, I said, finally somebody from our circle, outside of TDE, because that was destined to be what it's going to be. Somebody in our circle, and I've always looked at you as like a pioneer in DIY, especially out here, because you always did everything. You did your own edits, your videos. I remember you talking about doing After Effects very early before I heard anybody even mention After Effects. So when I saw that, I said, damn, somebody around me had the audacity to make themselves into a star, or at least work towards that direction. So when I saw these moments, I said, oh, he's going for it. And then it started working. You know, you never heard this. When I started watching you in these battles and beyond like the charges and all that, when you started like having like these elaborate wardrobes, you inspired me to approach beat battles differently, and I started winning them. Because when I saw you, I said, this nigga's intimidating his competitor before he says a word. Just because he got the Michael Jackson jacket with the buttons and he's wearing certain reds that are like making you look at him like, I don't know if I'm battling Daylyt or M. Bison. This nigga got me nervous. So I started going to battles and wearing these colors that I knew in people's minds, the color psychology. I said, oh, that's gonna be a little bit, it's gonna fuck with them. But I got that from you, bro. And I started winning beat battles after studying that. So it's crazy how it just stretches into different places. But my point is that you had the audacity to go for it, but you got a lot of hell in the process.
Oh, and that's why like I kind of tied my career into like, you know, Jesus. I was crucified early for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I had to do it. I had to do it. And you know, this is just personal. We can get a little personal. Like I've had my direct conversations with the man upstairs, and the replies that I got is die now to live later.
How do you decode that? I'll break that down.
And you got to sacrifice certain things. And again, back then, I was still under a super hood nigga regime. You know, I still had certain homies behind me. I still had certain politics tied to my neighborhood. Like my brother probably not successful as he should be because the nigga's a lunatic. So I fall under that umbrella. You get what I mean? The nigga name is Nutso. So I fall under that umbrella. You get what I'm saying? So people were expecting me to be the next lunatic. I just, instead of using my lunatic side on the street side, I use my craziness in the internet world. So instead of shooting people, I looked at all of these things as a shot. But the sacrifice in like to die now and live later was I had to turn in my hood card. That was the only way to live.
Yeah.
And everything I did in earlier antic days went against all forms of the hood card.
Yeah.
I had to train it in. God told me, give me your card and I'll give you an infinite everything. Just give me that card. And I gave it to him. There you go.
Bro, but you did it though. And no pun intended, in light of all of that backlash, and you stuck with, you know how many people, you know how many folks half-ass that part of the process when they get a little bit too much heat and they like, all right, now I'm starting to get to folks I didn't think I was going to get to, but you double down every time. I just need you to hear like from somebody outside how inspiring that is. Beyond the antics, beyond the comedy, that's inspiring to see a human being in that position say, I know I'm one of the first, and I know they trying to kick my back in and get me out of here, but I believe this is going to work, and I'm going to triple down, because that's the reason why now, fast forward to this, like people know you as one of the greatest pens of this generation, bar none, bro.
Yeah, but see, I think that has a lot to do with why I was able to do what I did, because if I was just the typical like non-good nigga doing these antics, then I would have died long time ago. I would have just faded away. People would have been like, that nigga doing that shit too much. Right. But I think what the lifesaver is, but y'all do know if he stopped playing, he can end anyone's life.
It's those moments where you did like say, all right, for this round,
yeah,
I had to do to get to what they say in the 48 laws, put your hand inside the water to shake up the fish.
Yeah, just shake
like,
the
I
fish.
know how to do that. But now you can't do this. And I'm going to do it on the level that makes even those who are looked at as the best at the time say, yo, hold on, something deeper at the surface here.
Yeah. And that was the underlining thing that, you know, the Most High always told me is like, yo, no matter what, no matter how far you go, and if you feel like you're going too far off the edge, where people starting to say, oh, they over you, remind them.
What do you feel like? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say every time I would go a little too far and I knew I went too far, the next time I was seen, I would be completely contrast to the shenanigans.
That's what made it so, I mean, I'm watching as a viewer. That's what's so fucking nerve-wracking, bro. These niggas don't know who they getting today. And then when they think like, okay, he on that shit, cool, I was prepared for this. You switch it up in second, third.
Immediately.
And that's another law, right? Like leave. I don't know if that's a law as much as that is the law of attraction. I think I read it one time where they said, you know, the moment you become predictable is the moment that people stop showing interest in what you're doing. But if you leave people always uneasy, and I think that that's something that you mastered, what would you say was kind of a tipping point? Because beyond the battle, I want to get into what you do as a songwriter, bro, because they're not fucking with you there either, because that's been a long stigma of those who battle rap have not been able to always make the smoothest transition. I do want to talk about this, and that, you know, you've been respected in the battle scene for years. Obviously, the tide changed and people understood the skill set. Now that you're building a catalog, but now you're building a catalog of songs. You've always had songs, but I feel like now you're doing it in the environment of a room full of mirrors, right? What did you figure out about songwriting that a lot of your battle rap peers still haven't?
One, just to reiterate, everything is happening full circle. I would say a large 80% of the songs that I'm dropping now are songs from 2005 and 6 and 7.
Wow.
So I'm just now bringing y'all my catalog from before I started battle rapping. So basically, I got to restart my career over, back from the jump.
That's
but
crazy,
more,
bro.
But more so, I think for me, again, like I was an artist first before battling, so I don't think the transition will be as hard. Like I've always made, you know, music long before battle rap. One of the issues with some of the peers in the battle rap space that may have not been able to transition, well, I'm gonna get to that. First of all, we need to end the narrative that battle rappers can't make music, because realistically, all the greatest rappers out are battle rappers. Kendrick Lamar is a battle rapper. Meek Mills is a battle rapper. Busta Rhymes is a battle rapper. Jay-Z is a battle rapper. And Tory Lanez is a battle rapper. The list goes on of people who actually battle rap.
Right.
But the issue with the battle rappers today is, and a lot of the battle rappers that tried to make music that couldn't make music, they didn't come from making music and battling. They just started battling. So that's one thing. The second thing is, when they say battle rappers can't make music, it's not that battle rappers can't make music. Realistically, battle rappers don't have help.
What do you mean?
And what I mean by that is, you are an artist prior to, you know, what people may know you are now, and you know like I know, there is a lot that goes into making records.
Facts.
And there's also a lot that goes into some of the bigger artists right now. And I say this to say, go look at, you know, an artist like Kanye, or looking at, you know, a Drake, or a few bigger artists, you know, let's say the Dr. Dre, few people. Just look at the credits on the song, and that'll tell you.
Oh, I think we're losing you for a second. Definitely make sure y'all hit the like button on the way in here. You might have to reconnect, but DIYers, hope you enjoying what you're seeing so far.
Oh, there we go. We good.
You good.
All right. So yeah,
it was a good time for me to remind them to hit the like button anyways. You good.
You know, the FBI said, "No, it's up." So, no,
y'all ain't supposed to be coming together on. What are we doing?
You're giving away our secrets. But no, I was gonna say, when you look at some of the credits on some of these albums and some of these records, it's literally football teams of people. You had like 10, 15 writers, you had 50 composers, you had, you know what I mean? Like, so again, some of these big records, it was a lot that went into them to make them big.
Right.
Battle rappers, most battle rappers think, you know, you're just supposed to get on the track and talk about killing people. And
so
also,
you think that's more personal choice than it is producers actually wanting to produce them?
Battle rappers not produce. You know
what I'm saying? Like, do you think that that's because they choose to do it solo, or because producers are like,
they choose to do it solo, or sometimes they just don't have nobody to work with. And I want to use one person as an example to kill this whole narrative that battle rappers can't make music. And I want to use Eminem, who is probably one of the biggest artists that we have. And he has a whole movie about being a battle rapper. Like yesterday, somebody tweeted me and was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because battle rappers can't make music. You'll never be an Eminem. And I was like,
but oh, you wasn't there for that. What are we talking about?
But so what I'm saying is Eminem Infinity album, battle rap music. Eminem, Dr. Dre, successful artist. It's just that simple. Also, you know, some of the battle rappers are hard-headed, so they, you know, they not open or what's the word? That could be an issue. But again, like as an artist, man, like
you dropped out there. You said a lot of them do what now?
Or they're hard-headed and they're not accepting to being produced. So but for any artist, man, if you have the mind state to say, okay, I'm willing to listen to the producer, I'm willing to listen to the engineer, I'm willing to you know, if somebody comes in there and say, hey, you know, make your voice like this or lower your voice like this, you know, you got to be open to that. I just seen a clip of Dr. Dre doing that to Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? And shouts out to my team, like shouts out to Ichiban Don, Willie B. Like Willie B helped me with that a lot early. He like, yo, nah, you should, like, I'll say something. Damn connection. Let's say like I'll do something with Willie B and I'll be rapping the song and Willie B will come in there and he'll say, yo, you should say it like this. And I'll be like, oh, word. All right, I'm gonna say it like this. You know what I mean? So those things are crucial. So I think just right now, like as a song maker, as an artist, like I've always had the ability to make records, always had the ability to make good records. I think now, it's more so like where the culture ears is right now. Like people want real records, people want full songs, and I could do that very good. Now, as far as like, you know, making, you know, the Migos type of joints or the Soulja Boy type of joints or you know, those type of joints, I might not be that good at those type of joints. Like I can't make a Travis Scott type of record.
That didn't stop Pi from hitting the records though. That didn't stop Pi from that didn't stop Pi from doing what it did. Shout out J. Cole and Av. So that didn't stop Pi from performing well on the Billboard charts. Bro, when I seen that, I had the biggest smile on my face seeing that for you, because the same thing applied to Tech 9 that applied to you. You didn't go mainstream. Mainstream went you. Hey, you at your best. You got a record off doing what you do and not compromising the thing. It wasn't diet you. You got that record off being you around folks who are also doing at a high level. Obviously, you know, we getting into this conversation. We was going to get into this conversation about the climate after the battle and the things that were happening. You and I had a lot of contact while all of this stuff was going on. And one thing you told me that I'll never forget, you said, you didn't say Curtis, because you and Ichiban is the ones that stress continually calling me Dewan. Get your notebook ready. Dust off the notebook. There's a change coming. You said this in 2024, damn near January, you told me this. So before that, talk a little bit about the success of Pi and why that was a possibility in this era to happen.
Man, it goes a little bit before this. I tell people this, like, you know, I'm not even a religious person. Like, I'm not a religious person at all. I'm not like a super Bible thumper. I'm not like a super church going guy. But I do have a direct connection with, you know, the Creator. And I see how certain things line up historically, biblically, globally. And the shift for me was COVID. Now, even with COVID,
right.
I'll go a little further before COVID. Before COVID happened, I got online and I told everyone the world is going to end. It's going to shut down very soon. Nobody believed me. I said it multiple times. I was looking like the crazy nigga with the microphone by the motherfucking Slauson swap meet. Like, the world is going to end.
Get your life right with Jesus.
Get your life right with God. It's going to end. Right? Bro, look, I swear to God, I bullshit you not. You could get on Twitter. Everybody get on Twitter right now. Ask Punch. I called Punch. I said, Punch, call the rest of the group and call everybody and tell everyone we need to go buy land away from everything. And we need to stock up on waters, everything. This is like 2 months before COVID happened. No, maybe like 3 months before COVID happened. And he like, what you talking about, Light? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just telling you, we need to do this right now. We need to find some off the grid and protect our families because some shit is about to happen. I don't know what it is, but it's about to happen. A couple of months later, virus broke out. The world is shut down. He like,
the world as we know it ended. The world as we know it ended. We have not had the same world since before 2020, without a doubt. You were right.
So he's like, Light, you was right. But we good, but you was right.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few months, we at the middle of COVID. We talking about we at 6 feet separation time COVID. It just so happens I get booked for a battle. In the midst of COVID, I had one of the biggest moments in COVID.
When I tell you we needed that, being at home stuck all day, that was one of, like, it was two things. I'm telling you, as a hip hop fan and as a hoop fan, that I look forward to. It was that Jordan documentary, the 6-part documentary for that, or 7-part, and it was this battle because first of all, it was like, how in the hell is it going to happen? Two, it's Tay Roc and Daylyt. We getting this at home right now?
Yeah. It was that was probably one of the that was one of the biggest moments in COVID. But it wasn't even just the battle for me. Prior to the battle, you know, and again, I tell people I have my direct connection with the man upstairs. I was advised that I would have to fight a demon. It just so happens I get to this battle and this nigga is dressed as Dracula. In the middle of the world being shut down, and all eyes is on us, and I have to fight a nigga with white eyes dressed like Dracula in the middle of COVID.
That's the story you tell your grandkids and they won't believe shit you say.
Yep. I slayed a monster, nigga. The world shut down and I slayed a demon, nigga. Like I'm about to be in folklore at this point, bro.
Right.
And you know, it just so happens that the battle happened, you know, and to me it felt like a battle for humanity, a battle for what was right. Like a battle for like it was like a battle for hip hop. Like I have to show the world that lyricism still remains the top thing of not only just rap, but just as a human. Like the more you know, like verbally, the better you are as a human being. So my weapon of choice in the middle of COVID was my words. Just all words, no beat, no nothing, just all words. And I spoke to the world and I end up trending #1 for like 7 days. That was like biblical for me. I'm trending over UFC. I'm trending over everything. 7 days trending #1 after the battle. And that was epic for me. So from then, you know, I went back to the drawing board and I asked for my signs and it said, just sit back. There will be another war. I told people this. This is just the first war. There will be another great war. Because hip hop has to go through 3 stages, 3 wars. It's one war, another war, and another war is going to happen again. I'm telling y'all now, it's one more war going to happen. And the next war was what we came to recently. That was a war. There was a war between a true artist and another type of artist. And you see the outcome of that. And you see what happened after that.
Yeah. Bro, there's things I can't disclose and I won't disclose. You my dog, but when I tell you there's things that he said and I watch it happen, and all I can do is just text him, you mother effer, how the hell do you keep doing this? Because this is not something new. You know, one of my favorite errors, or at least when you started disclosing more of your spirituality journey, whatever you consider that to be, when you started talking more about the origin of our people, when you started talking about buying land and the conversation started to kind of get into these different avenues, I said, oh man, this right here, because of the reach that you have, there's potential to change a lot of lives and a lot of minds who are inspired by you. That's why, like, I can't accurately use the word trolling anymore, right? Even though some people would say, like, in these moments, like, you know, so I have a question that says, you know, your trolling, quote unquote, has always seemed to carry just enough truth in it. and sometimes even foreshadowing, as you're talking about right now. One example is what you said about the diddler on VLADTV. You know, there's some people in my community right now who are like, that's the guy that did that? Why are you talking to him? And they have no idea about the depth there. And then now, fast forward, we see what happened with that. In details, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing at like, damn, I had this years before. So my question is this, you know, do you use quote unquote trolling as a smokescreen, a truth serum, or a little bit of both?
Sometimes it's to stay alive. So so to dive into that whole segment a little more, I've been caught wind of everything that's happening now with that specific individual. I've been new about some stuff, and you know, just a few people told me what was happening, and then even in that interview, just a specific part of the interview got cropped, which went viral. But like the whole interview was basically Vlad explaining what goes on. So, you know, at that moment, Vlad was like, yo, you know, this specific individual, like they have like these big ass, freaky ass parties, and, you know, they all go there and they watch each other have sex and they do all this type of shit. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, that's common practice around those parts. So in my mind, I'm like, so like all the other hip hop legends be there with him? He was like, yeah. And I was like, right? So at this moment, my brain, I was forced with two options. I had the Daylyt Watt side of me that wanted to be real disrespectful and say all type of stuff that would have got me canceled. And then I had the 58 laws or 4850 laws of power side of me and was like, this your time to cause controversy.
And that you did.
but I fucked up though. I'm gonna tell you, I fucked up, right?
Oh.
This was still earlier in my career, so I didn't have full control over both personalities. So my brain wanted to disrespect them. My brain was like, fuck them niggas. Them niggas is sus. All these like that's where my brain went. My mouth said, yeah, I'll smack.
Yeah.
My mouth, like literally, like what the words that came out of my mouth was completely wrong from what I wanted to say. I was like, oh shit, I fucked up. Right? Like, in my brain, my other brain was like, nigga, what the fuck you say? Right? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm in too deep now. All right, fuck it. Might as well go all the way at this point. Yep, I'll smack. Yep, give me some Ciroc. It's up. Right?
You said the words. When I seen that, I said, this is when I started making a separation. There were certain things I saw you do in battles. I said, I can incorporate that. And you kind of gave me some extra courage. Like if the homie can do that, I think I'm capable of doing. You did some shit like that. I said, yeah, that's where my ceiling is at. I could never.
I'm like, right? I'm like, well, we already here. Might as well go all the way. Might as well go on and jump all the way off the bridge. Ain't no need to even play with it. I'm like, yeah, bro, thick in the motherfucker, boy. I tear that ass up. Right?
So wait a minute. So go ahead. I want you to land that for sure. Yeah.
So originally I was supposed to say something completely different, but that was just what happened. And I it already said it. So I was like in too deep. So I went all the way with it. Run it. Right. So I'm running it. And it was crazy because this what made it spooky though for me. Like, so after it happened, the interview comes out.
Of course, the video starts going out. Of course.
Vlad calls me and he goes, you really don't understand. And I'm like, what? He like, this shit is out of here. It's gonna go beyond viral when this uploads. Are you sure you want me to upload? Remind you guys, I had the ability to not let this come out.
Yep, you said go and run it.
I said, yo, I was looking at that shit like the Drake meme. Remember Drake had the button meme? I was looking at it like that.
Go on, let it fly.
Let it fly, bro. So he let that shit fly, bro. When I tell you the very next morning, my nigga, I was up like 50,000.
I'm gonna need them to stop.
I was up, oh yeah, they fucking around. I was up like 50,000 followers Bro,
God.
like my phone was ringing. I was getting called by so-and-so artist. It was, and this one made me go, wait, what's really going on in this game? Because I'm talking major artists was calling me like, yo, how you get my number? Wait, why are you calling me?
Wait, and if I'm not mistaken, I'll let you come back. If I'm not mistaken, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to put nothing out there. The recipient of the said topic caught wind of this moment. I need y'all to let this internet go. Okay, I need y'all to come on.
All right, there we go. We good now.
From what I understand, the recipient, Dilla himself, caught wind of this.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone.
It's
on you. I'm just putting it up out. I'm just putting this information out, and I'm just saying, like, hey, we can move on.
All right, we could go. Let's go. Fuck it, cause we here, cause it got to be talked about. And
right,
I'm kind of tired of talking about it. So let's just dig all the dirt possible out of this conversation so it could rest for good.
Oh shit.
All right. So you know, through a few people that I do knew, shouts out to King Los. You know, King Los was working with Diddy heavy.
Joey too, but continue.
But yeah, so Los basically was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Diddy be watching all your battles and shit, man. He wasn't even tripping on that shit. I'm like, oh, okay, word. So it's cool, like, right? So fast forward a few more years, we had an event. The crazy, I think it was like the Revolt Summit or some shit like that. Some shit like that they had in LA. And I think TDE was on the panel, Snoop Dogg was on the panel, a few more people was on the panel. So we had the Revolt Summit. So we backstage.
Why the hell you go to the Revolt Summit? Why the hell you go to the Revolt Summit after all of this? You wild.
I had a
I see to
mission.
acknowledge that for a second.
So my thing was like, damn, man, I might have disrespected this nigga. And, you know, I do be in New York a lot. So I don't, you know what I mean? I know this nigga got a lot of money. So I don't want, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much I disrespected him. So my objective was, I'm about to get up here and apologize. So I get up there, you know, we backstage, I see Diddy walking by and I'm like, yo, hey, my man, I just want to apologize for the VLADTV shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't really mean it. I was trolling. You know what this nigga did, bro?
What'd he do?
This nigga looked at me, licked his lips and said, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh shit.
No, Punch is on the sideline looking at me, crying like, yo, this nigga Daylyt shot his ultimate apology shot and Puff just ignored it. Like, he like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't know? You're supposed to know what I'm talking about. Like,
Trying to see if you really about that. Trying to see if you really about that. I'll talk to you later. No.
Yo, this nigga was lining me up, dog.
He
was lining me up. He like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm like, in my mind, I wanted to say it like, so you didn't see me, you didn't see me shooting, shooting.
Right.
But when I said, oh, he playing mind games with me. He trying to get me. But yeah, so that's basically how that ended. I was like, yo, I tried to apologize to him and he basically shot it under the rug. Like he didn't even know who the hell I was or what I was talking about or nothing. So I'm like,
he licked his lips and then said, I
bro,
don't even know what you're talking about, Playboy.
Nigga,
oh, hell, I had to leave, bro. I had to leave that day.
Nigga hit me with the LL Cool J, bro. That motherfucker started from this corner all the way.
Nope. Punch, I'll see y'all later. I'm out of here.
Yeah, bro. But I tried to apologize to the nigga and he didn't even remember what happened. And that was basically the end of that. But yeah, that shit was a wild moment. But more of the story is fast forward. That's how that came about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and when you fast forward to right now and you kind of see everything
it transpired. Like, and there's people with far worse conversations and stories circulating around.
You know what's crazy though? It's something that I do want to say. it was mad niggas that was like, yeah, bro, I can't fuck with you because of that shit you said, man. Why would you ever disrespect big bro like that? But now finding out that they was actually doing things.
How many times do I gotta be right before you either stop talking to me like this, or before you realize like Light's not one of them. Light's if he say something, take it with you gotta take that as something very serious is happening, because it seems like sometimes when I'm watching some of your like free, how do I put these, like your streams where you just kind of like going off the top of your head and you allowing these ideas to kind of like bring themselves to fruition. I'm watching these free flows and I'm like, bro, sometimes you're having conversations with the viewers. Sometimes you're having conversations with whatever higher entity of power that at least I believe that you're being funneled all these things through. You know, I'd never forget, you know, coming out there when I was out in the city, and I came and visit you at the apartment, and you were just telling me the vision that you had for what you wanted to do next. And I just remember being there because I wanted to get at some point in my career as an artist, I wanted to get like tips from you about, okay, I can't do that, but there is something more. Like I have to lean into some kind of conflict. I just don't know what it is for somebody like a brand like mine's. And you just gave me endless gems within that. Now, I don't want to skip over that because I know you told a bigger story that led up to it, but I still want to ask you, what do you think caused Pi to be the success that it was? And really fast too.
So moving forward, remember the second battle was near. Now, Pi was originally for my album, and I've told this story on Twitter, and I'll tell it again. Pi came together biblically. So I was in my studio for I think 14 hours total, and I had beat block. I don't never get writer's block, but I had beat block. And I was searching for one more record on my album, and I had beat block. And I was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done. Like I'm done. Like today's just gonna be one of those days where I don't make shit. It happens. It happens to all of us. So I decided to leave my studio. I packed everything up. I went out the door. Just so happens it was raining. So I'm like, damn, I don't have no umbrella. I don't have nothing. And my car is mad far from where my studio is. And I got, you know, electric shit with me. I got microphones, all type of stuff, because I kind of take my stuff with me because of where my studio is. And so I go back in the studio and I'm like, all right, God, you don't want me to leave yet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just get this shit one more try. I jump on YouTube. I just typed in samples in the YouTube search bar, just samples. It gave me a playlist. It gave me a playlist. The very first sample was Kevin Moore Rainmaker. That was the very first sample in the playlist.
Right.
As soon as I press play, I said, oh, it's out of here. This shit is out of here. This beat is finna be out of here. This is crazy. Once I got the beat done, I whipped the beat up. I sent it to Royce the 5'9" first. That was the first person I sent it to. And Royce was like, yo, I would love to get to it. I just got some stuff going on, so, you know, I'm going to get to it. All right. After I sent it to Royce the 5'9", I sent it to my big homie, Dro. I don't know if you remember Dro from Watts. I sent it to Dro. Dro was early. Def Jam Dro. He was early before a lot of us. So I sent it to Dro. Dro did a verse to it. Dro haven't rapped in 20 years. The beat was so crazy that Dro was like, I gotta give you a verse. He ain't rapped in 20-something years.
Today I'm rapping.
Oh, this beat is crazy. I'm rapping on this shit, nigga. Fuck that. Yeah. After Dro sent his verse back, I met up with Ab Soul and I'm like, yo, Soul, like, let's do something to this shit too. Cause I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get Dro in there, I'm gonna get Ab Soul in there. We about to put this shit out. You know, it is what it is. Ab Soul was like, man, I don't think we should do no verse. Like, I think me and you should just go back and forth. I'm gonna say 2 bars and you come behind me. I'm like, all right, let's run it. So then me and Soul finished up what we did. And you know, after the shit was over, we like, yo, this shit is crazy. So how it happened, I'm like, all right, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the joint with me and Soul out now, but when I drop it on my album, Dro will be on it, since Dro is from Watts and my album is basically based on my neighborhood. So it would make more sense. It would be Pie Remix just featuring Dro, and it'll have my original verse on there. But the Me and Soul part of it would have caused all the buzz in the rap world.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna send this joint to Cole, and I just kind of want Cole to give me like a Kid Capri style hype up. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? This new Daylyt and Ab Soul, like, you know what I mean? I just wanted that from Cole. Like, I didn't want anything from it. Cole, after I sent it to Cole and told him what I needed, he ghosted me. He didn't reply. He didn't say shit. He said absolutely nothing. In my mind, I'm like, well, that was a miss. Well, remind you, I've been knowing Cole for XYZ amount of years, and I never not once asked him for nothing. Because again, you know, I know a lot of, like, with the bigger artists, there's so many people asking for favors and all this stuff. So I just never asked him for anything. So when I did this time, I was like, damn, I might have blew it. You know what I mean? Like, might have, you know how it is.
Yeah.
He didn't say nothing. So again, fast forward to like 2-3 weeks later, I get a message like 6 a.m. in the morning. It's 6 a.m. on the dot. And it's just an MP3 came through. So in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, this nigga did the intro. It's up.
Yeah.
I press play. I hear no intro. I fast forward to the end of Me and Soul verse, and I hear Cole go, yo. And then he says some things, and I'm like, wait a minute. I stopped it right there. I called him and I said, hey, bro, please, for the sake of my heart, because, you know, I'm still laying down. My kids still sleep. You know, it's 6 a.m. in the morning. Please, for the sake of my heart, please tell me this ain't what I think it is. He said, hang up and call me back when you finish listening to it.
Nigga.
I hung up. I finished listening to it. Midway through, I jumped out the bed. I kicked the kids off the bed. I
got that listeners on the speakers. Come on.
Nigga, I grabbed my son by the shirt like a battle rap. Right? My son, what's going on? Right? I'm running through the house. Holy fuck, nigga, it's up. It's up. It's up. Nigga, we going platinum. It's up. Right? I'm going nuts, bro. I'm going nuts, right? I'm going dummy nuts. I call him back. He like, yeah, you fuck with that shit? I'm like, yo, man, I don't even know what to say, man. This is wild. So, again, fast forward again. I'm sitting on the song. Remind you, this is like, Pie was done like 5 or 6 months before the rap beef happened. This is old. This is long before that. So I'm sitting on this motherfucker and I'm just like, yeah, this shit finna go nuts on the album. Fuck that. Right. I'm putting everybody on the album. I'm putting me, Ab Soul, Dro, nigga. Oh, it's going up on the album. Fuck that. It just so happens the war happened. Just as I predicted, the second war came. The war getting crazy. It's getting crazy. It's happening. It's brewing. You know, remind you, you know, Kendrick haven't said nothing. He just came down like motherfucking Michael the Archangel, shot a little damage and disappeared, right? Flew back to the heavens. Now the other demigods is like, yo, what the fuck we're gonna do? They're scrambling. And I was working with Cole heavy during this time, and then he hit me. He was like, yo, bro, I think I want to put that record on my album. Now the stubborn me said no. I was like, fuck no, nigga, this shit is going on. This is mine.
You know how long I've been holding on to this record?
What? This is my song.
Fuck for real. With all due respect, this is my record.
It's mine. Right? I called Punch. I called the team. I called the TDE fam, and we had our little discussion. And I'm like, Punch, it's mine. And Punch like,
shout out to Punch.
I fuck with you. You feel me? But I mean, like you know, I ain't gonna disrespect nothing you did. You know what I'm saying? Your career, you know, you did some things, you made some noise, but you know that's one of the
ones.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I ain't disrespecting nothing you did, or I ain't even disrespecting your up and coming album, but you know, it'd do a lot better on his album than yours. And I said,
just a little bit. Just a little.
I fuck with you, big bro. You a hard critic. It ain't even hard when you thinking logical. It's only a hard criticism when you thinking dumb. So I'm like, you know, and then I ain't gonna lie, there was another debate, right? So I called Soul, and Soul like, nah, fuck that nigga. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this nigga got off mad bars. Like, we ain't about to let this nigga drop this shit. And he got off like a whole 82, nigga, and we going back and forth, like, you know, because you know, Soul, he real competitive. So he like, nah, it's not fair. So nigga, we went back in. We went back to the stew. Before this shit dropped, we went back to the stew. And I shot like a 40 bar clip. You know what I mean? So it's another version of Pie that's out where all three of us, I mean, it's not out, but it's all three of us rapping our individual verses. That's spooky.
See, no, putting a pin in that real quick. Soul has always been like that. I had a song called Space Bars with him and Young Rook as a Sky Hutch beat. And he said, I played him the verses. He heard the beat. He was like, yeah, go ahead and make that a 24 bar, Kurt. I said, what? I said, all I wanted was a 16. I know you cooking right now. He said, go ahead and make that a 24. Like, that's something I love too, just as an artist myself, but also as a hip hop fan. I love environments where niggas want to rap. It's not an inconvenience. And wanting to be at the top, but I want you to land the point you were making though.
So Soul like, nah, nigga, like, we gotta, if we gonna drop this shit, like, we gotta make it fair, because you know, I don't want nobody saying like he killed us. And I said, Soul, listen to me, because you are a man of God. Like, you literally walking blind and you can still see shit. Like, you are really a chosen nigga. Like you're a chosen nigga. So listen to me this when I say this. What we did on Pie, it can't be beat. It doesn't matter what Cole does. We have an energy on that song that can't be beat, bro.
Right.
And he was like, all right, nigga, I trust you. You know? And you know, Cole like, all right, well, you know, is we green? Can we? And you know, all the staff on our side said we green. And when it came out, it ripped through the world.
Man,
it ripped through the world.
It happened. Now, you know, we got to land to the conversation about this battle, man. And I have a very different question, because obviously, you know, I know that you've had at one point, you know, relationships with both sides of that particular competition. But I don't want to ask this question everybody else asked. I really want to zoom out, because the conversations you and I have are very different from individual artists, as much as it is an appreciation, I'll say for me, and I know for you, for what Kendrick did and where he kind of like, where he shifted things. He shifted the focus. He shifted a lot of folks who were, you know, zombies because of where things were at. This shit is so insane. I listened yesterday and heard academics say, I've been talking to rappers around, and they said that Kendrick killed hip hop. Niggas is afraid to release music. He said he made this shit lame as fuck. And I said, oh, they hip hop is dead? So the party, so he's basically reporting the party just died, like what Kendrick already said and what Watch the Party Die. He's reporting this, and dog, you told me that. You said, don't be concerned about who loses this battle. Be concerned about the artists after that was getting their shit off for the last X amount of years, who when they drop, silent as a mouse. Zoomed out. Another COVID. With that said, zoomed out point of view, how do you articulate the impact of this battle and some of the things that happened during this back and forth between Kendrick and Drake?
First and most foremost, like, I want to tell people, like, we got to not make this into something that is not. A lot of people tried to make this into like an enemy style beef, to where it was like yeah, somebody's gonna die or somebody's gonna get killed. Like, first of all, this is not like Ja Rule and 50. This is nowhere near that. This is not Tupac and Biggie. Like, this is not that. And dear internet, like, y'all gotta fall all the way back. Like, and again, I don't think Kendrick and Drake are enemies. Like, I don't think they'll ever be enemies. This is just purely off competition. Who wants to be the best? And that's something that has been missing from rap forever, which is why the bar is so low. And again, like, you know, Kendrick and Drake they were friends before this. They conversated, they talked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all seen the early videos, tours, and all that type of stuff. But again, if we play basketball together and you like the number one guy on the team, I'm not about to come and practice and not try to go at you. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just the way it works. Like, yeah, you're that guy, but I want the spot. And I want, like, and that's what this all stems from. Like, again, both of them, Kendrick and Dot, are successful in their own worlds. And what I think, and it's something that I think, and I'm going to give y'all a crazy perspective, both of them were searching for what the other had. Kendrick is successful here, all the way to the top, to a fucking Pletzer pride. I call it a pretzel plot. A pretzel plot. That nigga won a 80-foot pretzel. 80-foot solid gold pretzel for doing music. But I'm saying, like, Kendrick is solidified here and Drake is solidified there. And I think you know, once you beat this game, you look for another game to beat. So Kendrick was basically in his Galactus mode. I ate this planet. I am looking for a new planet to eat. I want that planet.
Yeah.
And he came for it. And again, you know, at the top of the war, like, I seen what was happening and I put something in the air, and I even said it on Twitter. I said, hey, Kendrick wants to land a hit, like a mega hit that the lower level people could really rock with. Not the super musicians and the super thinkers, just we're talking like the general public. He's going to land a hit. And what Drake needed to do was land a record that could solidify him amongst the super thinkers. Right?
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Because they're opposite. Kendrick is for the super thinkers and Drake is making music for the general public. Kendrick is going to make a song for the general public, and Drake should have made a 10-pack boom. Drake should have made Doechie's album.
Damn. Yeah. Facts. That would have changed perspective, because now it's like, and this is what I always say, the narrative, and I don't want to jump the gun on it, but I said, although I'm not particularly a fan, I respected him for going to bat with some of the best of this era, right? Or not shying away. Well, not just say more so Pusha T than Meek Mill. When I saw that one, I was like, okay, at least you're not shying away from it. A lot of rappers is like, I'm not even getting into that. We making money. We over here doing all that. They're not even concerned about that. But at least he jumped. And then with Kendrick, I'm like, okay, at least you are playing ball before losses happen. But I wanted to.
I'll say this too. Like, again, like, you have to know how to lose. Like, that's something that I've learned in my career. Like, there's ways to lose and win. And you can't think about the moment. You have to think about the outcome of the moment and what people are going to say when this is over. The position could have switched. The switch could have been, yeah, Kendrick makes, you know, like turn up West Coast music, but I'm really to the core of hip hop. Look at my super hip hop album. Mm-hmm. I'm really for the people. He could have changed the narrative. I'm really for the people. Like, I do this for Sean Price.
That would have been crazy to hear Sean Price shout out.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, I see it.
People would have been like, oh yeah, he's really hip hop. He's really for the core of hip hop. He's not mainstream. He's really for us.
Right.
I think that was the approach he should have took, but because both people were looking for the opposite. But again, like, the outcome happened the way it happened. And I can say, in agreement with what you said, a lot of the music now was a lot of the music that was kind of in that little lane of just make some shit and have the labels pump it and it blow up. Like, that shit ain't working no more.
Nah, they need another magic trick. And there's a lot of artists I've talked to privately that, you know, have kind of like echoed some of the things that I heard academics say, because they and it's crazy because we've talked about this. Even some of our peers who was barring up back when it was the age out here where it was like everybody was, you know, trying to achieve on some level being the best rapper that they can be, where they fell for the hypnotization. They fell for the trick. They started doing it, you know, the whatever era was in, whether it was like the crank, you know, the U or whatever it was. They tried to figure out how to get into it. I admittedly jumped into my reggaeton bag because I was like, look, we gotta make something stretch. But I always stay close enough, even if I was a sample-based producer for soul, and you know what I mean, or producing for whoever I'm producing for. I stayed close as an artist and as a producer. But so many people in our peers strayed, and it's so crazy to talk to them and be like, they don't know their way back home.
Yeah. I have personal friends in the music industry and in the LA scene that were I don't even want to say no names, but it's people that were close to me, like my right hand mans at certain point of times that were on the path to be the next Jays or Nas's, and they got so deep into the sound of what was happening that they don't even know how to come back to that style anymore.
Yeah.
So it happened. I mean, but again, like, you know, it's hard. It's hard to say I'm not gonna do that, especially when you really trying to get in position and in position that can change your life and feed your family. And if this is what they asking for in order for you to make that happen, to change your situation, then most people go. It's just hard to come out of it. So that did happen.
Yeah, I listen, but look what sticking to your guns did, bro. Because now you go through those dark years where, you know, the money doesn't seem to be pointed in that direction. So you go where you need to go, and obviously you made a spectacular splash in the battle rap arena, and you found your name within there. But then you always said, I got to stay flexible because I know even this is going to shift at some point in time. You get into the music. You've always found a way to be ahead of it, even when people question what you're doing. And now I look at this and I'm like, dog, you are the perfect representative for all this. One more question about the battle, because, you know, I got to get to these shows.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get...
One more question about the battle. You are the person that, you know, when Dave Chappelle was like, what the world's going through, I want to hear what Ja Rule got to say. Like, no, we need to hear what you got to say about just from a battling standpoint, because you're a strategist. You're somebody with a master strategy. Beyond what you already said about them kind of like trying to go for the opposites of what they're known for, what do you think? Two-part question. What do you think was, and it's just from an artistic standpoint, was the biggest mistake that Drake made? And what do you think was the biggest win that maybe most people wouldn't see it from that perspective? Because most people would just say Not Like Us was, you know, the knockout blow, but I kind of have a feeling you got a deeper perspective on it.
The biggest mistake that Drake made in that whole beef was when he said he rapping like he wanted to get the slaves free. That was the biggest mistake. If he wouldn't have said that, Not Like Us wouldn't even exist.
How so?
And I'm gonna break it down to y'all. When he said you rapping like you want to get the slaves free, all black people said, so if he raps like he want to get the slaves free, and then you rap, then that means you rap like you want us to stay slaves.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Continue.
That led to Kendrick's whole third verse in Like Us. Nigga doubled down on calling us some slaves.
Yeah.
He not like us. He not black. Basically, that's basically that led to that whole song.
What's so funny about that part though, I always counter that with, but when he was talking to Adonis, he said, you're a black man. And he's giving them lessons about life. And I'm like, how do you fare with that if you a competitor and you're like, wait a minute, you questioning my blackness, but you just told my son who got the curly hair and all that, you just said you're a black man. These are the lessons that a man should carry with him.
He basically telling his son, don't ignore your real heritage. Don't be like him. And I mean, don't get like I feel like that was the only bar that kind of fucked it up. Like that was the bar where it was like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
But other than that, like it was a good fight, man. It was a good fight, top to bottom. I personally feel during that whole rap beef, and it is another minor mistake, like, you know, Drake is heavy in the battle rap culture, heavy. Like he rocks with the battle rap culture a lot. I don't understand why wasn't none of them called to help. I didn't get it.
That's your world. I don't got no skin in the game. That's a good observation. I don't. Why is that?
People should have been called. Like people should have been called. Like there's certain people in the battle rap world that he's extremely close with. People should have been called. Like, hey, do you think this is a good idea or not? Like that shit should have been ran by some people. But again, I say this to say, like, you know, a lot of people saying like it's over for him or like he can't bounce back. Like there is no die in the internet world. It's basically what you do next.
Yeah.
Like there is no die. It's what you do next. And you know, of course, like everybody knows what team that I'm rocking with. Everybody knows what side of the line I'm on. Like I'm Team West Coast to the fullest. I'm a part of the TD family to the fullest. Drake is he's still green in my eyes as far as like him as an individual because he's done things for me before anyone even got in my corner. He's booked a lot of events and a lot of money came through Drake booking these events. Again, like prior to the battle rap, I mean, prior to the battle happening, like I spoke to Drake about doing the me and Low Deluxe battle, like prior. And I was offered like a couple of M's for this battle. So, you know, it's always been, you know, like a cool relationship with us. So if I had some advice, because again, like it's weird right now, but if I had some advice for Drake to do moving forward, you got to start over, bro. Like you got to start over and go back to the core. Go back to the core of hip hop.
How do you do that with a pending lawsuit, though?
Look, man, again, we live in the world star era. Today's news is not yesterday's news, and then the news after that, people will forget in a few weeks, bro.
That's
all he
wild.
has to do is drop a project over some soul. Because again, what's the new song on the Party Next Door album? Was it Hug Me? Or
Give Me a Hug, I think it's called.
Give Me a Hug, right? It has a sample chop in there, and the sample it feels really good. That song feels really good. I like the record. His next project, his next solo project, just get back to rapping. That's it.
Man, it might be that time to listen to the rapper that's offering you some advice. It might be some time to listen, because I mean, you're battle tested. You've seen this. Like I've heard times where people told me, this nigga Lyt is done. You know, after a particular event where, you know, niggas were shitting on people, you know, shitting on a stage or whatever. They told me he was done. I said, this nigga ain't done. I said, y'all don't understand that every time something happened, even with the event with what was the thing at the event with Joe Budden, you know, he battled
Total Slaughter and all that, like Total Slaughter.
And everybody was like, oh yeah, Lyt is done. Like, this is the biggest stage. What is he gonna do after that? And then you continue to evolve, and I never hear nobody mention it now.
There's no
so
done.
To your point, I know there's some folks in here disagreeing, like, no, there's no way we're gonna ever let this go. To keep it fair, this is somebody who has seen it firsthand.
But let me tell you something. If there's a person saying they can't let that go after everything I've done outside of that, that means you love it.
What you mean? What you mean they love it?
I mean, you love it. I mean, you keep going to watch it and over, like, yeah, I can't let this go. Let me put this shit back on. Let me run this shit back. Look at this shit. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, this nigga nasty. Hey, run that shit back. Hey, let's have a watch party for this shit.
You know what this is like? That's like a little kid that say, this trash can stink. And then you be like, nah, it do stink. Nigga, why you just believe a little kid when everybody want to go smell it?
If you can't let that go or you can't get past it, you love it. You really want to hold on to it and cherish it and hold it and keep it in your memory forever. But again, I say this to say, man, the internet starts over, man. It starts over because again, we have new algorithms. They change the net code. They do certain shit every other day. It starts over. So moving forward, all you have to do is be great the next time they see you. And everything else erases.
You got what? Well, Okay.
They remember it. Like, for example, they'll never forget about it.
Yeah.
But you know, they'll never forget about like your scars. Like your scars are always going to be there.
Right.
But it's like we're not in the era of back in the days. Like when you lost a war back then, we were done.
Mm-hmm.
We were
That's
done.
Kwame with the polka dots. Kwame with the polka dots. I didn't realize how damaging that was for Biggie to say what he did, and it was like he had to make a massive pivot. Still found success, but not on the same level that he was as an artist.
But when you took a hit back then, you were done.
Yeah.
Pre-internet, because it was word of mouth. It was the streets. Like once the streets start talking, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Now we in the internet. Like people can make multiple pages. Like they just said recently that 80% of the internet is not real people.
I saw that. God. And what doesn't it make so much sense when you see some of the takes? You're like, I have never met a human being that has ever. I met some crazy folks. I met some wild ass individuals. I've never seen anybody quite like this bot.
You've been having a conversation with a robot for the last 7 months.
Arguing.
Arguing.
He just keeping you on the platform while the ads.
One of them optimist niggas behind the computer just typing like a motherfucker. Like, yeah. So what I'm saying is like, so again, they just said like a large percentage of the internet is not real. So how do you die in the world that ain't really real?
Damn. Well, you know something that is real. A lot of us, including some people in this room with me right now, that responded back to. Top of the year, after the dust seemed to kind of settle from the battle before it kind of re-up again with all of the content, Joey Badass jumped out and said he had his New Year, New Me record with the Rulers back. And, you know, as I listen to the record, he's getting off. It's a conductor production. I'm like, this is fire. Then he lands on a line that causes some issues. That line happened to be is too much West Coast D-licking. And, bro, I have never seen so many people activated and ready to rap.
Yeah, that was like the control. He shot a control. He shot a, because you got to think like after Kendrick's, you know, victory, we were like Team West Coast. It was like, nigga, it's a celebration. The Dodgers won. You know,
man,
like it was,
so much was happening.
Nigga, it was nigga. I don't give a fuck about West Coast fashion. I had some Chucks on.
Yeah, it's that time. Yeah,
nigga, I was down the short, nigga. Oh, my mom, I don't never. I'm so anti like West Coast look.
Yeah,
but I was West up after this. I was West, nigga, fuck West. You feel me? So I think at that moment when Joey did that, it was perfect timing because he knew we were celebrating. He knew we were celebrating. He knew it.
Because I didn't get the angle. I didn't get the angle of too much West Coast D-Lick. And I'm like, we haven't even had enough artists charting to have a run right now. So how are you reading that?
Hey. What is the book that I told you I read? The 50 Laws of Power. Who the fuck is he always with? 50.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He does this all the time.
He's with 50 and he's on Power. 50 Laws of Power. This is right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, he does this shit, and I'll be like, how the hell did I miss that?
So
it's right there. Okay.
It's right there. It's literally right there. I told you, I've read so much that I understand the matrix and I understand how linguistics work. I see it. I can see the codes. So he shot a controversial shot in the midst of our victory, and he knew it would hit. Now, this is where it gets crazy. I made a tweet and I was like, well, we got to end him. Joey hit me in the DMs immediately, and he was like, look, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even smoke like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. And
stop. I'm like, oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Look, bro, Joey hit me in the DMs. He was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure we on good terms and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, nah, bro, it's cool. Like, I'm not even getting in that, bro. Like, I'm not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even with all of that shit, bro. I'm just making album shit. 2 days later, I dropped. Fuck you talk about it.
I was every nice to him.
But see, when I drop, right? Oh, make sure y'all go stream How You. It's out right now. But when I drop, like, I just wanted to, like, How You wasn't really a diss though. It was more so just to let them know, like, yo, my stomping grounds is the East. I've been out there. I put in a lot of work out there for years of rapping, musically and like in battle wise. And basically, like I don't want smoke, but it could be. You know,
especially in this climate. Like, don't let me showcase a skill set that I already have been amplifying through all of my work. Don't give me an opportunity to show you what I can do here too. Like,
I eat people, literally. Like, I eat human souls. Like, I've done it for 20 years. And I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm gonna make a good record in the process of doing this. Like, How You is a very nice record, so I'm gonna make a good record in the point of doing this. And I thought it was gonna stay there, but you know, then he replied with the "This Little Light of Mine, I'ma Let It Shine," divine timing. So I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Oh, don't be slick. Don't try to be slick, nigga. Don't try to be slick. It's up." So then I shot back with what's my next joint?
Yeah.
I shot back at Yer, and Yer was it's not really a diss, but it's kind of like a, hey, you sure you want to go there?
I've been having more conversations with Mama, and she kind of changing her tone.
Listen, Mom,
if she say go,
if Mama say go, it's up.
It's a green light. Well, this go ahead. I'm sorry. What you gonna say?
So, you know, it was kind of like something that was brewing. Like, the fans started to see it. They like, oh, they shooting at each other. It's subliminal, but it's kind of not subliminal. They shooting. So then I'm waiting for track 3, and he dropped the third joint, and he kind of like went the opposite way. And I was like,
I was up here reacting to nothing. I was so hot, bro.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right. Well, I mean, I'm not. And I ain't gonna lie, man, like I think it was kind of difficult. Like, I'm not taking away none from Joey's skill set, but like, you know, you got me, you got Ray, you got Coyotes, you got Lit Poppy, you got motherfucking you.
You bring me out. I'll never be involved in all of this, but I seen that. I was like,
oh, what's up?
Nah, because you know what my issue was? I said, I love the competition. But niggas was hooping at the court 6 months ago. Like, everybody was, and you waited till the smoke clears and everybody leaving the court to go back to their cars, and you fully dressed, some awesome trying to hoop.
What's up, nigga?
What's up? Like, nigga, the street lights is off. We
in the house. But niggas came. My nigga said, I don't care if mama gonna whoop my ass. I'm back outside, nigga. Fuck that. I'm back outside, nigga.
I think the thing I appreciated about not just what you did with the songs in reply to, when I appreciate you being transparent about all that, is that your tone, bro. Like, your tone has gone through a lot of different evolutions where, you know, when I think of some of like the songs you were making during the battle rap times, and when I think about the songs you're making now, dog, like you got a certain level of the voice got deeper, the bars got more patient, but you didn't lose syllables, you didn't lose the structure. But now I'm watching you write, and I'll just sit here, because now when I'm doing reactions, right? And actually, let me remember before I forget this. ScruFaceJean, one of the biggest reactors on YouTube, he says, "Tell Daylyt to unblock me." He had me blocked since 2013.
I got you. I got you.
Well, I only bring that up. He says, "Shout out to Quill to the Batmobile." I only say that to say we react to it in a much different experience than the average listener when we make these videos, right? When I'm watching your lyrics and I'm reading them along with listening to them, because I just listen to you and I know I got to keep going back. As I'm reading this shit is fucking brilliant. How you'll give us lines that's like, all right, here's for the low tier thinkers who just need something. And then you'll have another tier, but it'll be in an 8-bar structure where you look back and you say, this whole thing is a theme, even if it feels disconnected from one another. How the fuck do you write like that, bro?
It's
because it can't be linear, right? You're not just.
So I've learned through my many. All right. So if you go to the library, right, and it's like these like books, they always at the bottom of the shelf, and they got letters on the back of the book, like it's like A, B, C, D, A. Those big ass books, right? Like people never read those. Like I read them all, like every last one of them, from front to back. And in my process of reading, like I learned about like a lot of things inside language via like I learned how syntax work. I learned like linguistics at so many levels, and I also learned something called double speaking. And it's something that a lot of people may not know of or ever heard of. And it's something that, you know, the presidents do, and it's something that a lot of high up people do. And basically you can say a sentence, but that sentence has another layer to the sentence that only a higher tier of people can understand. And it just sounds like regular words.
Is it NLP, neuro linguistic programming?
Kind of, but it's just called double speaking. It's just called double speaking. Like you can Google it. And I learned how to do that musically. And I learned that with me understanding that there are multiple levels of listeners, and also however you listen to something has a lot to do with what you know. I've learned how to rap to all parties. So also, and going back to remember what I was saying about being coached.
Yeah.
So I want to give a big shout out to my big dog Punch, because he installed something into me that changed me musically forever. And what he said to me was, yo, like the world know you are a lyricist already. Everybody know that. You don't have to always prove to them that you are an extreme lyricist. So I want you to do something for me. And I was like, what? And he was like, learn the mid-range, and then walked out the studio.
Oh, wait a minute.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
And I was like,
what do you mid-range?
Learn the mid-range. Learn how to shoot a mid-range musically. You play basketball, just learn how to shoot a mid-range musically. And I was like, what the fuck you talking about? And then I went back to the stew, and I was like, oh, no more dribbles. Just
so you slow down on your N1 moves, your hot sauce moves.
Yeah, I slow down on all the moves. Ain't no more moves. Get straight to the elbow and pull up.
But see, that's a very different message than dumb it down, which is I never liked that message, because I was like, if you're of a certain level of thinking, even when you dumb it down, that is the byproduct of all the experience and knowledge that you've put the work in. So you could never essentially dumb it down. As much as it is, the simplification is where the genius is at for you. But that, because everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of quote unquote lyricists, self-proclaimed lyricists, all they do is dribble. Yeah. There's no concept, there's no content, there's nothing that sticks with you. Even the bars that are memorable are bastardized similes. They call them metaphors, but they're bastardized similes, and they don't stick. With you, I feel like, and it's funny because Kendrick said this on a Kendrick Lamar EP. He was like, my dopest shit is not even the complex stuff I say.
I learned that.
Right? He said, what did he say? He said, I'm what do you say? I'm a medium. He said, I'm a medium away from living large. Or he said something to that degree. But it's like that line is so simple when you think about it broken down, and it's like, well, damn, yeah, that. But those are the kind of lines that stick with you. It has a memory, has a complexity, but it also has a simplicity.
Like I said, not to cut you off, but in the form of like the mid range, like I've learned how to shoot the mid-range, aka slow it down. I've learned less dribbling. I've also learned like tonality. So you know, as a lyricist, like, and with me being a lyricist the way I was, it wasn't too many people to study from, like via Lupe, via ASAP Rock, even Kendrick, you know, a lot of the high up echelon guys. But even Lupe will tell you, like Lupe, and he's told me this multiple times, like, nigga, you mutated into something that I've never seen before with work. Like Lupe would tell me that all the time. Like you're like a product of all of us, but you're like mutating into something, and I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like there's no book for it yet. And so I think what I had to do was I had to go back to the drawing board and listen to some of the people that are not as lyrical but have major impacts. I started to listen to Pac more. Pac has no metaphors, zero, none, absolutely none. If mama fixing the hot plate, mama fixing the hot plate. You ain't gonna be no, we was in a room with steam and there was a pot boiling, and he not gonna walk you all the way to the plate. Mama fixing the plate, and that's it.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
But the way he's gonna deliver is gonna be very different, though. Yeah,
he's gonna deliver it. But again, like let's take the bar. Just working with the scratch she was given, and Mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. That bar is gonna stick with you for the rest of humanity. I learned that. I learned how to do that while still adding my own sauce in it. So you'll get a bar like that sounds just as regular to the general public, but there is another meaning to the super thinkers. So I've just learned the mid-range, man. I might put, or let's say not the mid-range. I learned a one through the legs pull-up. So it's a mid-range, but I still got one dribble on the front of that.
It's not, there's a difference between Kyrie's mid-range, how he gets to the mid-range, versus somebody who's a spot-up shooter, and they just, here, I'm gonna take that, do a couple jabs, and I'm like, when you have a certain flow, certain finesse to your game, you're able to get to these spots, and it's a work of art no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's where I meant, like, let's say as a lyricist, it's all dribbling. It ain't even no scoring. It's just dribbling.
I got this theory, and I want to hear what you think of this as we start to wrap this up. Because, man, round of applause for this dude, man. This is long overdue. Shout out to the 1,500 of you that came in here today. That's been dope. I want to ask you this. You and I both have been in circles where it was like the older hip hop head, the Purists, that was like, all this shit sound the same on the radio. All this shit sounded, they just mumbling. And it dawned on me, I had a very Daylyt-like thought. I said, you niggas sound the same too.
Yep.
There are people right now who know a formula. Boom, bap beat, soul sample. And then they say certain inflections. That's why that Shiggy joke was so funny to me, because that's the formula for a long time, where it was, you get a nigga that can sing on the hook, you took a and it's like, y'all are literally doing the thing that you're accusing the mumble rappers of. It's just nobody calls you on it because you have all the elements of golden age classic hip hop.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
When I started really getting into sampling, I said, oh, all these niggas is making the same record back in the days.
They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that. The content was, a little more different. Deborah, come on over here. You've been talking to my man, but a lot, when you get into sampling, so many of these beats and songs are identically the same. Same note, same key. So one thing I learned about the music industry, no matter what era it was, if something worked, everybody tried to do it. And that happens over and over and over and over and over and over. It just so happens throughout all of these trendy sounds, you get the anomalies. And those are the people who stand out tremendously. Let's say let's say KRS was an anomaly of his era. Like, yeah, niggas was rapping big words, but he started putting crazy content with the big words, you know what I mean? And yada, 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 information and knowledge. Fast forward, you got the Rakims, you like each individual that popped up during their era, they did what's happening, but they added a little more sauce to it, or a different type of sauce or flavor. But again, it's always every year, every so many years, something pops and everybody tries to do it. It happens over and over. It's happened since the beginning of music.
But this is why, to me, am I losing you? Man, this has been an incredible conversation. Hopefully he's able to come back and join us. Definitely hit that like button on your way in here. I hope you guys have been enjoying the conversation. I don't know if he's booted, but we'll figure that out. And make sure I acknowledge some of these super chats as we kind of wait back for him to come back in. Shout out to ScruFace. I hope I got you on block, my boy. I'm gonna work with that one. I'm gonna work with it. Appreciate the super chat. Shout out to High.3. Thank you for Blue Destrin becoming a member. Oh, did he hear? Let's see if he come back. Okay. Tatted Reaperist Curtis. I'm gonna need to know where you got that shirt. Freako, Frko. Let me just tell you right now, he's dealing with a situation right now where, you know, the OVO maggot and went and searched him up. You okay? I want to make sure you back. I was just over here getting his super chats. But yeah, man. I'm not gonna hold too much of your time up, bro. I genuinely appreciate you. I'm glad we was able to finally make it happen. I do want to talk about what's approaching next. And once again, you've done the Daylyt thing. Yeah. Every time everybody's like, okay, he's fully in his record, you about to probably get another album. And I'm not saying that we're not getting those things. You say, I think I want to make my way back over to battle rap for this occasion. I watched your face off with Rum Nitty, and first thought I had in the all black, I said, there he go doing that shit again. There he go you did like this. His energy's in a certain place. That's the first thing I'm peeping. Even when I saw beat battles, I want to see the physical energy of both folks because it gives me an idea about who might be a little bit more on edge, whatever the case may be. I watched that, bro, and the amount of calm that you had, as you said, I'm here to restore balance. Yeah. Why is that important now to you? And what should we look forward to with this battle?
My audio good, right?
Your audio's kind of crumbling up a little bit. I can't tell what's in the background, but it's something crumbling. No worries. No, he's still. Uh-oh. Nah, the microphone's done.
Yeah.
You might have to log off of it and come back in, and I'm gonna just bring you back on stage. Let's get him right from right here. See to get situated. Yeah. Oh man. Incredible. Let's see if this works now. Uh-oh. You hear me? Nah, we still not able to hear you. It's all good. I'm gonna remove it from this. There we go. Okay. I do appreciate every single one of you that are here. I hope you understand that some of you might feel tricked. You might feel bamboozled. I want to talk to the greatest writers of our time. I want to talk to the best battle rappers. I want to talk to folks that it shouldn't be no surprise that I'm a hip hop head. I'm an artist. I'm a lyricist. I'm a producer myself. I figured it out really during that conversation I had with Mick Jenkins the other day. I got the opportunity to create my own version of the basement. Where sometimes I can make music with these artists, but for the most part, I get to focus back on the art form, which is why we give a damn to begin with. Okay.
All right, there we go. We good?
Yeah. Man. Right. So
back to the battle. Back to the battle.
Yeah, I was watching the face off, and I was getting excited. Like, I'm about to pay for that pay-per-view. I got to see this live.
Yeah. So basically, like, I've been moving in the other space. Like, I haven't been in the battle rap community like that, because all of the stuff I'm doing in the music industry side. And one day, like, I went back to my home planet. I went to an event, and I said, "What the fuck has happened?"
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you what, I'm internet folks. Why y'all hating? Why y'all hating? Why we can't get our conversation? You should be. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I went back to my whole planet, and I was looking around, and I was like, "Yo, what the hell is going on right here? It looks unrecognizable."
Right.
Like, it looked real unrecognizable, and it was to the point to where I was like, "No, this is not good." What's happening in battle rap is not good. Like, battle rap, the last place where you can be a real lyricist and people are no longer being lyrical. It basically has turned into mumble battle rap. Copy and paste, mumble battle rap. Nobody is pushing the pen. It's just literally like, it's disgusting. Like right now in battle rap, it's basically Bad Girls Club. Everybody arguing, everybody fighting, everybody everybody, I'm the realest nigga, I'm the toughest nigga in the world. Like it looks bad, and it's no longer focused on the skill. I also understand that battle rap is the cradle of hip hop. It is literally the core of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
We just got an actual rap battle that actually took hip hop to new heights. Drake and Kendrick is a rap battle. 50 Cent and Ja Rule is a rap battle. Tupac and Biggie, as big as they are, is rap battles, right? Like these Nas and Jay-Z are rap battles, and this shit stems from actual battle rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And battle rap is literally the core of hip hop. If battle rap itself dies, hip hop dies.
Damn. I didn't think about it like that until you said that right now. That's wild. So this is a crucial time period. So this is why I kept hearing a tone in your voice where you were like, no disrespect to my competitor, but this is bigger than you. This is bigger than the battle. There's something bigger at risk.
It's way, that's why I said you are merely here to help me. If you die in the process, you die, but you're here to help me do what I need to do.
Somebody
You can't just let it. If you die, you die in the process, but I gotta do what I have to do.
I told people I didn't have to write anything for this battle. The ideas are inside of my soul. I don't have to write anything. They're literally inside of my heart. Like everything I want to say, it was given to me. So I just have to come say what I need to say and restore balance to that world. Because if I don't and that world dies, then hip hop is going to die forever.
Yeah, no pressure on who to root for.
No, look, man.
I'm just talking to my audience. No pressure on who to root for, but you already know.
To all the people, make sure y'all tune in to the TBL. You can hit my guy Chilla Jones on Twitter for any more information.
Put in the description.
It's going down in a few more weeks in Texas. Make sure y'all there, man. Again, like it's gonna be a fun night. There's a lot of other battlers on the card. A lot of people that I'm actually looking forward to see because I know they're kind of gonna help me do that. Like this card is basically a lyricist card. Like there's some of the last of the Mohicans that are trying are all on this card. So it's a good card. Like, it's a good card to help like lyricism stay where it need to be.
What's the date again on that?
It's I battle on April 13th.
April 13th. Okay, I'll put the information in the description, man.
April 12th. I think April 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
I never know the specifics of what you're getting ready to do, but I know to trust where you're getting ready to take
I will
things.
say this, and for anybody who question like if I'm gonna do an antic or something, like those days are over. I'm already where I need to be, and I'm at level 2 version of myself. So from here on out, like as a person in my career, I'm literally set to I don't even want to say save hip hop because that sounds like mad superhero. I just want balance in the world.
Yeah,
balance.
Same. I want the right for your shit to exist no matter what it is, so that this can exist. We just can't have an imbalance anymore.
Yeah, I will, and I'll be dropping a lot of more music like right after the battle. I got a few more joints that may drop before the battle. I have a mixtape for the music fans. Like I have a mixtape. I'm doing things right. Like I'm gonna drop a mixtape. I never dropped an official mixtape, so I'm gonna drop a mixtape. Then I'm gonna drop maybe an EP. Then the actual official album. And again, I say this to say like, people put me in the categories with the Kendricks and the Drakes and the Coles and all that based off me being a lyricist, but based off musical work, like I haven't done enough work. And it's just me being honest. I haven't done enough work. Like most of the people that they have me in the class with, all of these people are on their 10th album, 9th album, 5th mixtape, 4th mixtape, 4th studio album. Like they've been working. So as far as like me being an actual artist, I have to catch up. So I got a lot. I'm gonna play catch up the next few years. I'm gonna play catch up.
With you saying that, this is my last question. With you saying that, bro.
Yeah.
You still get that mention at the Grammys amongst a list of very exclusive names, but you get that mention beyond. I mean, because he is a lot of folks that he's broke bread with. There's a lot of folks that he's homies with that he could have mentioned on there. Your name got mentioned very specifically. How did you kind of interpret that moment?
I'll tell you, right? Me and Kendrick crossed paths maybe 4 times in our entire life. One of the times we crossed paths was at the pit, and we were actually supposed to battle at the pit. This is back in 05. We were supposed to battle. It just didn't happen due to, you know, unfair circumstances, and they was trying to have me do some wild shit, like just sabotage him while he was rapping on stage, and I didn't want to do that. So that's why we didn't battle. Fast forward, I'm with Punch. Punch is like, yo, pull up with me. Where we going? Just pull up with me. I pull up to the studio, and when I walked in the studio, you know, Kendrick came and got us from the door, and it really felt like Thanos met Galactus. It was like, hello, hello. How's your day? How's your day? Fine, fine, very well then. Very well then. Like it was like another Titan met another Titan. Like
right.
It was like, so you know, life's been good. Yeah, life's been good. How's life for you? Life's been good. Yeah, yeah. Right. It was like that type of energy. I swear. Because again, like he's, let's say, you know, he's Thanos in his world. Like I'm basically Darkseid in my world. You know what I mean? So it was like basically like Darkseid and Thanos met. And you know, and then but you know, we chopped it up about inspiration and, you know, one another, like as from lyricists to lyricists, like man, that shit is crazy, man, what you do. And I'm like, man, it's crazy what you do, because again, like, you know, I help him keep his pen sharp based on, you know, my lyrical ability. And also he helped me keep my mind sharp on music, because Kendrick and them broke through as lyricists in the time where they were basically saying lyricism was done.
Facts.
So Kendrick also gives me hope as an artist, as an actual lyrical MC, that it is possible to still break through, when they said that they're not even pushing that type of music no more. So I think our feelings are mutual to each other in terms of what we do. So for him to give me that shout out on stage, it was bigger than just things that we did together. It's mainly like as a lyricist, like I'm pretty sure I help him keep his pen sharp, and vice versa, you know, vice versa on my end.
Man, I'll just say this, bro. I'm incredibly proud of you, bro. I'm incredibly proud of you. I'm gonna say the same thing my homie Stevie Crooks told me. I'm proud of you for not only succeeding, but I'm proud of you surviving this shit.
No, definitely, man.
Many wars have been fought, and I love what you're doing with a room full of mirrors. I can't wait to start having some squad here on the platform. And I'm watching you holding the camera. I'm watching you literally be what we stand for. You're a literal DIYer out here, and you have not let your success stop you from being able to just say, fuck it, I'll shoot it. I came to the studio and I saw you handling a lot of the responsibilities, and it wasn't an ego thing. And a lot of folks in your position could be like, I'm hiring somebody else for that. You hands-on because you care. I'm hands-on because I care. So I appreciate your existence, because you make it seem like I'm not crazy when I see somebody out here succeeding the way you are.
Yeah. Majority of the people that go against the grain is looked at as crazy. But when you actually, like, you know, look at the definition of crazy or the definition of insane, is people who literally do the same thing. So technically by definition, the general public is the crazy, insane people. But you know, people don't read, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daylyt, man. Oh, bro, finally happened.
All right. Well, with that being said, man, I appreciate you for having me on the show. I'm very PR trained in today's time, so I most definitely want to give the shout out to my squad. Oh, I'm about to get real robotic right now. I want to give a shout out to my squad.
I'm gonna just start calling it. You about to get real 80% right now. Go ahead, get real 80%. Go
real PRs right now. Yo, shouts out to my squad, room full of mirrors, the whole gang from the top to bottom. Ichiban Don, Lyric Michelle, Early Riser, Crime Boss. I'm missing a few people. We deep. 7 view, man. We deep. We real deep. 7 view, Lyric Michelle. Oh man, my guy Zay. My guy Big Age back in the building. Punch.
You said Juice. He's releasing a project, right?
Juice, Nico, my boy Juice just released a project recently. It's Nico Deshawn, my guy Frost, my guy Nick Bison, my guy Crime Boss, the company. Man, we deep. We basically Wu-Tang, bro. Like
No.
Room Full of Mirrors is basically the new Wu-Tang. Like literally, we deep, man. I probably missed a few people. Oh, Vonnie. Shouts out my little sis Vonnie V12. Like shouts out to the whole squad. Like we deep and we got a lot coming. Like a whole lot that is loaded. Basically, Room Full of Mirrors is equivalent to Marvel. It's a big project, and it's everybody's individual story inside the project. Then individual people got their own projects together. So Heroes lives inside a Room Full of Mirrors. There's a few more duos that live inside of Room Full of Mirrors. The company live inside a Room Full of Mirrors. It's a lot. Like it's a whole universe in Room Full of Mirrors. So be ready.
Man, and I'm telling you, it's so damn talented, bro. Like y'all got the eye, y'all got the ear. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna actually sit here and kind of read through some of these super chats. But bro, I can't thank you enough. Whatever you need, just let me know. You always got a platform and an ally here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Appreciate all the support. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I appreciate y'all for supporting my guys. Shouts out to all the super chats. You know what I'm saying? Let me hold.
Look.
But no, run it up. But no. Again, like I said, shouts out to all the fans that's been in full support. To all the people in the comments that's like, I can never let that go. Good. That's why I did it. I did it just for you. You know what I mean? So hold on to it, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daylyt, one more time.
Yeah. All right, man. Y'all have a nice one, man.
Oh, you too. Salute. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was a special moment. That was a special moment for sure. Been trying to work it out. Timing and conflict with the timing sometimes kind of, hindered it from happening, but I knew it was going to happen at some point in time. Not too bad for this old Z-lister, huh? I ain't never letting that go. Tatted Reapers. Curtis, I'm gonna need to know where you got that shirt. Yeah, Freako. What I was basically saying is that he dealing right now with them OVO crazy folks on Twitter where they trying to find old tweets and they trying to hit me up like I'm finna stop buying shirts. I don't care. I don't care what he said in 2009. I don't care. The art's dope. Leave me alone. Deluxe, shout out my guy. Always deliver me all these stories and heads up about what's going on. Shout out to Deluxe the champ. Chad L. We need Daylyt load of Lux. Look, I want to ask that, but I also too, I think that's part of the demand is that we don't have enough information. I'm gonna let that keep going. Diddy said Daylyt is a bad boy. Knock it off. Thank you for the super chest though. Daylyt, please make the face dot made over face. Tell Daylyt I love him. Queenie Smith, thank you so much for the super chat. Please tell Day if he plans to get back in the ring. Oh yeah, he's a couple weeks from now. Thank you so much. Get even. Larry Love, Drake's Achilles heel was always his insecurities about his identity. Pusha T put out the blueprint. Ask Daylyt about joint project with J. Cole. Yeah, I want to get to these questions, but also too, I want to make sure that I get these bullet points because I'm thinking of this in terms of content, and there's certain things that I'm looking at and I'm saying, I'm not a clickbaity type of channel. I'm not a messy channel. I'll ask questions that sometimes involve, conflict, but the last thing I want to do, because I know that it's not just about making a good rapport with my guests here. Somebody else is watching this and they're debating whether or not they want to reach out. And it may be somebody that I highly respect what they do. So, man, I forgot to tell y'all because of that moment where Mick Jenkins shouted out Bruiser Wolf. Now we got Bruiser Wolf coming on the channel after he releases his next project. Insane. It's only up from here. Pearl says this is why Curtis King is the hip-hop YouTube channel. I'm grateful just to be one of them, without a doubt, but I appreciate that. Somebody paid a light bill talking about the phone. Afro Butterfly, how do we keep ghostwriters out of core hip-hop? That is a good question, sis. And we definitely be touching base with you here soon. I think a lot of them are going to cancel themselves out, or they're going to finally show their face, because we're in a time where, whatever that star power that made them go that pivot, whatever that star power that they were missing, doesn't matter as much to the general audience if they find a reason to love what you are and who you are and what you do. I think a lot of them are going to, kind of start to show their face because they see how accessible things are. We getting blue pill quill, man. Time shall tell. Daylyt location. I'm always trying to plan that. Speaking of which, next Wednesday, Good Luck, better known as Bad Luck, is coming here to do a flocation next Wednesday. So Stay tuned for that. Thursday coming tomorrow as well. We just keeping this going. I'm not stopping. I am not stopping. I'm still gonna do reactions at some point, but I just feel a need to lock in. I feel like that's been the message. Susie Bougie says, I've taken so much from this. Thank you, Curtis, and thank you, Daylyt, for this amazing interview. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for locking in with us. Shout out to Viral, member for 2 months. Dope that you guys finally linked up to do this after all these years of knowing each other. Great time, and look forward to the Rum Nitty battle. Same here. And then Magnife, another super chat. Man, greatly appreciate y'all.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth.
It's only up from here. I promise. I promise. I don't say that loosely. I don't say that trying to be funny. I don't say that trying to. This is what it is. Hashtag RR. Let me get some hashtag RRs in the chat. I'm on gas. Till I retire Rochelle. That is my mom. I'm retiring her this year. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm going to do that. Curtis, next up, you get M. Bada Vlad. I'm just grateful to be a platform that lyricists know they can come to, and I'm going to always talk about the art, because I too know what it feels like to go do an interview only to have them talk about everything outside of the music. And it's like, the only reason I'm doing interviews is because of music. It's because of music. So when I talk to these lyricists, I can't imagine 200 years from now going back and somebody's going back in time and if looking at media and they're like, wait a minute, y'all had access to some of the greatest writers of your time, and you asked them about their love life. You asked them about their tweets. You asked them about their fashion. And I'm not saying these things are not relevant to understanding who the individual is, but dog, we're living in a special time, and I think a lot of us are not taking advantage of it. But I understood the reason why we don't get those channels, because they exist. The reason why there's not an abundance of them is because those pieces of content are not doing views. Shout out to y'all. 1,500 today.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth.
Not bad for intelligent hip hop conversations, huh? Oops. The biggest threat to the channels that y'all say are so toxic, the biggest threat to the channels that y'all say are so toxic is when intelligent hip hop conversations are just as entertaining and when they start doing views. That's the real competition. You ain't got to get rid of nobody. The real competition is when a breed of young, media personalities in the making like myself are able to create these opportunities. And the thing is, I don't think I'll ever pivot to just full-time interviewing. I have to keep making music so y'all know I know it. Not even so y'all know, just so I have a connection to the craft so I can ask these questions that some journalists can't ask because they've never done the craft. And it's no disrespect to them. They are respected. They do amazing jobs. But there's something different when you're talking artist to artist, and I can ask specific questions because I know what that shit feels like. And I want to make sure that there's at least, a few platforms in this time period that history will show we didn't play with that. We didn't play with some of the greatest writers of our time. Magnif, shout out to you for the super chat. Salute, man. We definitely got to collab on a song or something one day. Me and you be in some of the same circles. DJ Head was my manager. I produced some songs on Glass House too. Oh, shout out to you, fam. And I heard White Lightning too. So you heard all that production I did on there. I hope that one day sees the light of day. Let's definitely connect on social media and build from there, fam. Thank you for the super chat. Queen Nexus says, it's time for rappers like Light, K-Dot, and myself to retrain the listener's ear to tune into authentic rap again. Time to deconstruct from trendy rap. If you remember, and I agree, if you remember Queen Nexus, I said this a few months ago. I said, give some of the zombies time. They got to get this. They got to get the sleep out their eyes. I'm not saying they're going to be just as attentive and just as active as us. What I am saying is that when you have a real steak or when you have real soul food, not the shit that you get in like a fast food restaurant, you never want to go back. When you have a real version of what you're looking for, the same thing applies to music. When you hear something that fills your soul up, you can't never go back to the other thing unless it's just for recreational fun. What I'm saying is, I don't think we got to do too much in terms of training, I think the people are going to actively find ways to be more attentive listeners. I love that the folks that are afraid of thinking are nervous right now, because that means the professionals have to come back in the building, or they get to come back in the building. So shout out to you and what you do, Queen Nexus. Sadie L says, RR, also, I always appreciate your positive outlook on what the battle meant for the culture. Even if your guests don't always agree, it gives me hope. Without a doubt, without a doubt. We got to hear, I'm always open to opposing points of view, because you got to understand, I'm a sponge, Sadie. I'm a sponge. I never want to know so much. I never want to have the curse of knowingness that I ignore some of the brilliant minds, the tried and tested minds who have a different point of view that I can learn from. He says something today that I didn't even really give perspective to in terms of what their individual goals might have been. And I have to rethink it, because he's working with these people hands on. He's contacting them. So, you know, and for somebody who's been tried and tested himself, you gotta listen to it. You gotta give it the value that it deserves. Last but not least, Leanne, I haven't forgot about you, Leanne. I'm gonna make you a moderator. It's just on this side of things on StreamYard, I cannot grant you that on this side. But next time we do a regular live stream, which should probably be here soon, remind me and I got you. Thank you so much for holding it down, the community. And thank you to all of my moderators here. I really appreciate all of y'all. The world is watching. Keep going. We're not stopping nothing. We're going to have hip-hop conversations until y'all sick of me. We're going to have hip-hop conversations until y'all are sick of me, until y'all are sick of hearing about culture. I hope that y'all get sick of hearing about culture. When am I going to be a moderator? Erica, I've been trying to get in contact with you, sis. I have, because I'm planning for tomorrow. I know it's short notice. I'm planning tomorrow. And actually we might have to move that date, because shout out to my guy Thurs, who's coming. I actually don't know. That's tomorrow. We're going to plan for a different day. I want to have an all ladies panel, and I want to start in my community first. You don't have to make music. I just want a woman's perspective on where hip hop should go next, to really, really have some genuine conversations from man to woman through music. I think there's a lot of artists that I've given music reviews to, Erica. And I would email me, CurtisKingTV@gmail.com. Email me. There's a lot of songs we hear and they like, yeah, this is my joint. This is my song for the ladies. And it's like, nigga, have you ever been next to a Diddy? Have you ever met a woman a day in your life that wasn't a mannequin or that wasn't through a screen? Because you sound like you out of place. Talk about dipping into their chocolate fondue. What do you mean? That's not gonna get the draws wet. Anyways, I need y'all perspective, because I think that could be a very productive panel that could help a lot of artists who are lost, or maybe they're just scared of women. Maybe they're scared of baddies. We need your perspective, from a woman's perspective, to let them know, like, here's where you're missing a mark. Here's how you can talk to us in a way where you're not talking through us, but to us. We need that perspective even more so than now, because we're moving into another place. We're moving into another place. So I want to do that as part of the series. We're going to have more panels. Like, I want to bring Daylyt back on a panel with Mick, a panel hopefully with Ab Soul, and I want to talk about lyricism. This conversation is not going nowhere. This conversation is not going nowhere. I love this culture too much, so much. I love the craft of lyricism. I may not even be in the league of these lyricists, but they my homies for a reason. How the hell do I know all of these lyricists? I got that thing on me. Don't get it twisted, but I understand the separation. These lyricists keep coming to me, and I want to continue to tell their stories. I want to talk to the Loaded Luxes. I want to talk to the Geechee Gottis. I want to talk to the ones that are the best. I want to talk to the Tay Rocs. I want to talk to the lyricists of the lyricists. And I really feel like what Mick Jenkins did the other day was a tipping point. It's got a lot of people paying attention and recognizing that this is a home that we're going to sit here and talk about your art form, because I care, because I'm an active practitioner. So with that said, DIYers, I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all, because this shit gives me goosebumps at times that we're able to talk about this post the battle. Create that new rap city. Read my soul. Shout out my guy, Read My Soul, because you're very much a part of this as well. I understand it now. I understand it now. I understand it now. That Mick Jenkins episode gave me a vision of I'm gonna gut this closet, and I'm gonna turn it into a booth. I'm going to have a camera inside of the booth, and we gonna do our own Rap City The Basement, but our own version in 2025. So as we move forward, we gotta have all these conversations. We need Nestle. Yeah, Nestle for sure. And why are we waiting on major networks to do that when we have all the capabilities, dog? We DIYers. We DIYers. And that ain't gonna never stop. So DIYers, have an amazing day. I hope you enjoy this interview. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Tomorrow, like I said, we're gonna be talking to Thurs. I'm currently booking something with the guys at Rap Latte, and then of course Rob Markman. I got something coming up. Devi Brown is gonna be here. I don't know if you remember, we did a reaction to her video. The video I did where I said Drake is losing his female fan base, and she did a really remarkable job of explaining how her legendary role in radio was a part of being one of the first cosigns for Drake and Kendrick. So she has a very unique perspective, not to mention that she's leading a new generation with her conversations of spirituality, of self-improvement, and she has a new book that's coming out, and I cannot wait to share that with y'all, because this is somebody else that I've known for many, many years, and I'm just grateful now that network is networking. For those of you that are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you have not hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Keep building with us. We're gonna keep having content. I have not missed a day of content this year, and I do not intend to do that anytime soon until I retire. Rochelle, Razkaz, and Coast Contra. Coast Contra is also happening too. I gotta continue to be in touch with their management, and we're gonna make that happen when they come back. I think they did some touring. And of Razkaz is crazy because I've known Razkaz for years. It's just a matter of lining up the times. So it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. Thank you so much, Afro Butterfly. We do have a Patreon if you're interested. Patreon.com/Curtis King TV. With that said, hashtag RR, all of that. Hell yeah. I just left a comment on Mickey Fact's page because he said, what'd he say? Fun fact. He said, we got more songs on the Flute album than we got verses from Andre as a solo artist. And I said, this is a fun fact I wish you didn't share, Mickey. You unnecessarily pissed me off today, but I would love to chop it up with him, one of the greatest to do it. So we're not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere. You need to think of a name for your show, because that is exactly what it is. It's not just an interview on YouTube, but a new hip hop show. I'll give some thought to it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. With that said, have an amazing, amazing day, DIYers. Until the next time, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace, peace. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.